My strength and my strength, dex, and constitution were all at 15, and my wisdom was at 19, and my intelligence and charisma are at 10.
Okay.
You'll need those. You'll need that extra dex and strength.
No. Too bad he didn't take those ones and went for something else instead.
Like I got the extra health then.
Welcome everybody to another session of Tomb of Annihilation. Last week we had an in-person session and it was a very action-packed session where you
almost completely in person.
Yeah, almost
socially distant.
Almost completely in
observing
person.
safe protocols, guys.
We were. But you reached the Kobold Mountains, which was Bulbysaw's place of origin, where he was discovered as a baby and raised by the kobolds. And this coincided with the quest you were given by Majarib to clear out his ancestral home of Frakhamar, of fire newts and kobolds. You managed to accomplish this by allying yourselves with the kobolds who were being subjugated by the fire newts and the young red dragon Cinder being forced to work the forge. Thanks to Bulb being able to make contact with Sned, the leader of the clan, and demonstrate that he was the young baby that the clan had once raised, you were able to incite an uprising against Cinder, the young red dragon. Even so, it was a precarious and terrifying battle, and your kobold allies were nearly all extinguished, and sadly, Majarib and Veska were also lost in the battle, and thanks to the death curse, could not be revived. While you did manage to survive long enough that you could have possibly turned your fortune around and pressed the attack on Cinder to finish her off, Ava decided to summon the adult gold dragon Oranax, who flew magically all the way from Waterdeep, and when he arrived, dispatched Cinder with a single blow. As such, you became the heroes of Frakhamar, saving the kobolds from their subjugation, causing the fire newts to flee into the Valley of Lost Honor, and leaving Frakhamar ready for clan members of Majarib's to eventually arrive and reclaim their ancestral home. You've had a long rest since then, and you've leveled up. Is there anything you would like to do before you leave Frakhamar and the Fireheart kobolds that now reside here?
I would like to see if they have any, shields that I can just take.
One of the kobolds immediately looks up at you, his eyes wide and his ears fully erect, and he barks, "Yip, yip, yip, yip!" He says, "We make all sorts of things for fire newts, free to take them as you wish!" And he runs off straight into the armory adjacent to the smelting room where you first encountered the kobolds. And he comes out with both a large wooden shield and a small metal buckler. And he says, "Not sure which one you prefer. Sned say druid not like to use metal, so me bring wood one out. Me not like wood one. Would like to smash wood one up for make betting game for the tricky number rocks."
As fun as that would be, I thank you for the wooden one.
And you take the wooden shield, adding +2 to your AC.
Awesome. I need to add... I'm just going to get rid of my darts because I never use them and just put a shield there, wooden shield.
The kobold... Yep.
I was going to say, I want to try and figure out how to incorporate the Fire Iron Scimitar into my staff if possible.
Well, you could do that at the next rest during the journey. So,
Yep, fair deal.
you're about to leave Trackhammer. Yes.
I just want to clarify, when you say that holding my staff counts as using a free hand when casting druid spells, does that mean I can use somatic spells like?
Yes. However,
okay, cool.
However, if it requires 2 free hands, then you'll have to put your shield away. But if it only requires 1 free hand, then the hand with your staff, as it's a focus, counts as a free hand.
Okay, so anything that requires hand movements I can use. Cool. Okay, cool. Although when I use cure wound, my higher level healing stuff, I'll need to put something away.
Yeah, your shield probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So the kobold waits just long enough to see you strap the shield onto your wing, and then he yips again, yip! And another kobold in the background shouts, Quick, you're missing funny number of game! And he turns around and dashes out of the room, while Sned just stands next to you, slowly shaking his head.
The joys of our universe where we inadvertently turn an entire race into gambling fiends.
Yes.
That's where we're at now, kids.
I want to ask Ned where there would be like a resting place for fallen warriors.
Sned bows his head and he says, Unfortunately, here in Rakhamar there would not be a place for warriors to be laid to rest, but we have laid all the perished kobolds to rest outside in the Valley of Lost Honor, amongst the ruins of the dwarven settlement. We have turned this into an honorable resting place for those who have perished. If you would like to erect a shrine there, please go ahead.
Yeah, Zinhorn would like to go and pay respect to the fallen comrades and kobolds that fought with us against the young red dragon.
Yep, so you leave the forge to the great iron doors, and amongst the ruined buildings outside, you see 14 freshly dug patches of earth, grave sites for the 12 kobolds, Veska and Mujarib, who all perished during the battle, and a small piece of granite rock, presumably broken off from the walls inside the forge, has been placed at the head of each of these patches of dirt as a headstone, with the names of the fallen carved into the stones. Crudely, I might add. Veska particularly suffers here, as her name is spelled Fesscaa.
Oh my.
Points for effort?
Yeah.
You also notice that several of the headstones have had things left behind by kobolds paying their respects. Some flowers and weeds taken from the Valley of Lost Honor, and a number of what look like crudely carved dice, in this case pebbles that have been roughly hewn into the shapes of cubes, with holes stabbed into each side to represent the numbers.
So Zinhorn is going to go along, and at each of the sites is going to druidcraft like a little flower wreath, and just like lay it and say a thanks for fighting with us.
And as you place the flowers down and give each grave a moment of silence after thanking them, you feel some sort of energy rising up around you. It's a comforting feeling, and it seems almost as if the souls of the departed are thanking you for remembering them, and you gain an inspiration point.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Okay, and now I'm gonna ruin that by asking a dumb question. Since this is technically a dwarven place, would they have any armor of any sort? I'm guessing it's unlikely it's gonna be better than what I have, but
Indeed,
you never know.
they do. What are you currently wearing?
I'm currently wearing a breastplate. I was hoping to find something that would at least, if not be better than what I have, at least get rid of the stealth disadvantage I tend to.
Well, a breastplate is the strongest medium armor.
Yeah, I figured. Let me check.
If you'd like to remove the disadvantage on stealth, you'll have to get a penalty on your AC because you'll have to wear a slightly less strong medium armor.
Well.
And I don't think you can wear heavy armor.
It might not be worth taking the disadvantage. I mean,
yeah.
It's probably worth just keeping the disadvantage as it is.
I know. Like I said, it was more of a check than anything else. No, I can't go much better. Unless I find something magical, I got nothing.
That said, there is a stronger medium armor. Well, actually, you're wearing a breastplate.
Aye.
So there is a stronger armor, and the kobolds eagerly show it off to you as it's one of the masterworks in the armory. You can get half plate, which will give you a +1 to your AC, but you will still have a disadvantage.
I mean, technically, I'll take the extra AC. It doesn't. Okay, neat.
The kobolds look at each other and say, "This makes a lot of work! You pay! We buy lots of pretty number rocks with this!" They look at each other as they decide on a price, and then one of them stamps his leg on the ground and goes, Yep, 500 gold!
Oh yeah, Bobbit has no problem putting that out into him in a nice, neat little pile. Goes, here you go.
So you hand over 500 gold, which is actually cheaper than a suit of half plate would cost on market.
I was gonna say, this is why I didn't haggle. I figured.
Yeah.
They're only gonna buy dice with it. I don't give a shit.
It would be
happy that they're happy.
Purchasing a suit of half plate such as this on an open market would be around 750, 800. So you're already getting a good saving. So you gladly hand over the 500 gold and take the half plate, and the kobolds make some adjustments to it as you put it on to fit your child-sized body. And as soon as they're done making the adjustments, they high-five each other, jump in the air, and shout, "Yippee! Think of all the pretty number rocks!" And then they run out of the armory to go celebrate with the other kobolds.
Bobbit's happy to help.
Before we leave, could I just go see what's in the armory?
Yes. So you join Bobbit in the armory, and you find this armory stocked with essentially any type of weapon or armor that you could want. None of them magical, but all of them constructed surprisingly well, having been made by kobolds. And they're all in great condition. Yep. Any type of ordinary weapon or armor. Non-magical.
Okay. Okay. No, that's fine. I don't really need anything anyway. I was just seeing if there was anything interesting in there.
And as you're browsing the armory, you notice one of the kobolds is walking around with a little shred of paper and a quill in his hand, conducting a sort of inventory of all the things in the armory. And as you peep over his shoulder as you walk past, you notice he's writing down prices next to each of the items he has listed. And at the top of the page, he's written with a flourish, "Fireheart Kobolds, purveyors of fine adventuring equipment."
Oh, good. They're gonna live well. Can I go up to him and ask him if they were the ones that ever made any weapons with the same material made with the scimitar? And I hold one of the fire iron scimitars.
The kobold looks at it and he shakes his head, and in surprisingly good common, he says, "Alas,
the fire newts never taught us how to work the fire iron. After all, if we could construct those weapons ourselves, we could have easily risen up against them. No, unfortunately, our technique, as honed to sheer perfection as it was over the years, was restricted to the mundanities you see around you.
Fair enough.
Well, it's just gonna casually donate our old breastplate to these guys just for that thrilling, just being there to listen to that lovely their business. Just puts that down and goes, that could be a gift. There you go. Someone else wants a free breastplate.
No, it's metal, so I can't wear it.
I figured as such.
Bold,
okay, well.
says the kobold. I have a request of sort, more of a proposal, if you were. He says, I've heard from scuttlebutt around the camp that you have, shall I say, a growing network of naval craft traveling throughout the Cholton Peninsula.
Oh.
This is correct. I do plan on making it bigger.
He says, I would ask, if you are willing, that when we have our first shipment of equipment ready, that we may count upon one of your vessels for the purpose of distributing it to Port Nyanzaru and beyond.
Ooh.
Of course. Yeah, that would be fine. I obviously would request that I get a 5% take of your makings.
Please.
Earnings, that's the word, thank you.
Please, says the quartermaster kobold with a flourish as he takes a bow. Make it 10% as a personal thank you for allowing our guild, our clan, to rise above slavery and take control of our own future.
Oh, well, if you're okay with that, then sure, yeah, I'll happily take a 10% cut, and hopefully I have enough ships to help you transport all you need by then.
Lovely,
Yeah, too.
he says. Your ships should be able to dock in Shilku Bay to the south, so transporting the goods should be relatively easily. You will just need to tell whoever is in charge of your fleet to send a ship to Shilko Bay in about, we'll say, 5 or 6 days' time. For the first shipment.
But it already has the quill and is riding back to Port Nyanzaru with this information. Oh, it's helping! Yay!
But it seems that you are quite taken with helping me with this. How would we say we make this official and you get hire you as a shareholder of my company and say, I don't know, 7% of the profits?
Bobbit just looks and with just this innocent looking smile going, Bobbit, sure, we can renegotiate this later. Plus, Bobbit already thought she was hired. I mean, you helped me.
Make it official.
Get the job. Oh. Yay! We'll work numbers later.
And as Bobbit quickly hashes out these new terms with Wakanja and the other merchant princes, I would actually like Bulb to please roll 2d. Would like Bulb to roll 2d20s. You may add +1 to one for your sloop and +2 to the other.
Okay. Now I'm nervous.
Paid? We getting paid?
Oh fuck, that's an 11 and an 11.
Alright.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, hang on. Roll 2d20.
Fuck.
It is with regret that you are informed by the merchant princes that both of your ships, the Good Fortune and the newly acquired pirate sloop, both did not fare very well in recent engagements. Indeed, your sloop was sunk and was unrecoverable.
I have one inspiration. Can I re-roll? Or is it too late?
Too late. Inspiration can be used for... The crew of the sloop were rescued and there were no losses, but the ship was lost to the depths of the sea. The Good Fortune, luckily, was not sunk, but sustained quite a bit of damage, and so after having some repairs done, the next bounty it takes will be used to pay off the repairs and to replenish any crew members who were lost.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. These 2 dice are going in jail and not getting used the rest of the session.
They have failed you.
Jobal then asks you if your orders remain as is. Would you, after it finishes repairs, would you like the Good Fortune to continue to hunt sloops, or will you be sending it down south to Shilko Bay to pick up the kobold shipment?
I would like to change its orders to helping the kobolds, and then as soon as helping the kobolds is done, go back to hunting sloops.
Jabal says, and if any pirates are encountered along the way, would you prefer the ship to engage or avoid contact?
Before I respond, because I'm guessing this is happening next to the clerk
Yep.
that was asking about it, I ask him, do you have any kobolds skilled in hand-to-hand combat who would potentially like to try their hand at naval fighting?
He thinks for a moment and he nods and he says, the kobolds are not the most seaworthy of races, but I'm sure I could find some whelps or hatchlings who are ready to try their fortune on the high seas.
I like this guy.
Well, yes, so do I. Well, if you can find, say, 20 who would be willing to go, we have an opportunity to hunt pirates on the way back to Port Nyanzaru, and, well, that is their primary business at the moment. Would you feel comfortable with the extra crew potentially fighting a couple of smaller ships?
He nods. He says, well, I would feel a lot more comfortable with members of the clan keeping an eye on the merchandise. Consider it a done deal.
Okay.
Really smart. We'd donate the collapsible, since I don't think we're going to get much use out of the foldable boat. We should probably put that in, just so they can hand that off to when the rest of the ships turn up, so we have an extra ship automatically in the fleet.
Are you sure you'd like to donate the foldable boat?
I mean, we can hold on to it for now. It's just a suggestion. Just
Well,
future business.
Mr. Clerk, as you don't have a name.
He holds out his hand and says, Jap Jap.
Do you think you could find enough crew to crew this Bobbitt's sloop?
It's a quest. It was more a suggestion. We don't have to.
He thinks and he says, I think 20 would be enough for the time being to help crew your ship, but perhaps on the next delivery, tales of their daring adventures on the sea might have inspired several more young whelps to try their luck.
Well, Bobbit, what if we leave the collapsible boat here with the kobolds, and when hopefully this voyage is successful and the voyage comes back and potentially more kobolds are joining, they, if they have enough, can add the ship to the fleet. Always up to you, of course, as the foldable collapsible ship is your property.
get for this?
Well, money, or if there's a specific thing you would like the kobolds to make for you. They seem to be quite skilled at the forge, having been forced to do it for 16 hours a day for the last several years.
That is true. I'm just trying to think of what I could possibly work with that. I mean, I already have better armor. I don't believe shields get improved for some weird reason in this game.
Yeah, that'll be next campaign where I'm going to introduce different shields, because I don't like how there's only one type. And
They do have a shaman. There may be a chance that they could help you with combining your staff. Although that being said, you will need to convince Mr. Stick not to kill them.
I'm sure if I mention that it's going to help make him powerful, he'll jump at the chance, and that seems to be the only
his
thing he's
voice
interested in.
drifts into your mind, and he says, "Absolutely not! I shall not have these dirty kobold paws all over me, thank you."
You just see a Bobbit come back and going, "Okay, no more extra power for you then. You're lost."
With my luck, they'd probably chop me up and turn me into bloody dice or something.
You just see Bobbit still look there and goes, Bobbit doesn't think he's interested. I really honestly can't think of anything. It's not like Bobbit really needs more money at the moment, even after spending the 500 on the better armor, so...
Well, says Jup Jup, shall we say then that the Wormheart clan owes you a future favor, that if you find exotic materials or have anything, shall we say, out of the ordinary that you would like constructed at an unspecified point in the future, I would be happy to put some of the men to task on it.
Okay, Bobbit's just sort of sitting there thinking and just eyes gleaming a little bit with just ideas going, that sounds fair. It's a shame that I don't really know much on magic, otherwise I'd try and see if I can get that dragon scale put with my shield, but I'll happily settle for a future deal.
I mean, you could ask them to do that now if you want.
Ooh, actually, yeah, Bobbit's actually gonna fumble through her pockets and pull out the dragon scale and hold out his shield going, is there anything you guys can do with this? Bobbit's hoping to try and get it put together so fire isn't as big of an issue in the future.
He says, we have a few artificers in the clan. I believe we may be able to do something, at the very least. He snaps his fingers, rips your shield off your arm, and two kobolds come into the armory and carry it away. And as you spend the next hour or so hashing out details of this deal, the two kobolds come back with your shield, and the dragon scale has been expertly weaved over the front of the shield. Jump Jump hands it back to you, and he says, "And it is done. This shield will now grant you resistance to fire damage if you are using it. If you don't have the shield equipped, you won't be able to use it."
I mean, I usually almost always have the shield equipped, so that works for me.
Yep. Well, actually, how it will work is when you're hit with some sort of fire damage, I'll ask you to do a dex save, and if you pass, you'll get resistance. That'll represent you quickly getting the shield and pushing it in front of you. Remember, this is a tiny child-sized shield, so just having it on your arm's probably not going to deflect.
But I'm also a tiny child-sized child.
Well, that is true. That is true.
But
I'll just
look. It's better than nothing.
Because shields don't usually have resistance, is the thing. So
yeah,
because because they don't cover your whole body. So I'll get a roll for you to quickly move it in the direction of the oncoming flame.
This is fun. Just add that in.
Yes,
out of character question. The shield that Angus had, was that a legendary shield, or was it just like a...
That was a legendary shield, yeah.
That was a legend. Okay.
Yep.
Wait, the animated shield was legendary?
Actually, no, it was very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare, very rare, very rare. I'm guessing the artificers can't make a shield like that.
No, none of them. They've just recently stopped being slaves. They
that's
could
fair.
probably make an uncommon item for you, but anything beyond that looks like it would be beyond their capabilities.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's think of that.
And of course, Bobbit got this one for free, but Jup sternly looks at you and assures you that if any other uncommon items are to be made, you will have to pay.
Oh no, of course. I wouldn't have asked for free. They've
Yeah.
already agreed to a 10% cut from their earnings, so...
And
That's
so,
great.
with that, with a new business deal hashed out, you decide that time is wasting. Sir Lucian is looking perhaps even more pale than the day before. Perhaps the death curse is getting worse, or perhaps it's just shock that two of his travelling companions were extinguished,
That
along
was sad.
with him very nearly in the battle against Cinder. But you decide to continue the journey across the Valley of Lost Honor.
Oh, I think I put him down or something.
Yeah, they might, but no, you're getting close to
No.
curing the death plague, so you're gonna soldier on.
Yeah, we're not killing off the tank.
Hello,
You
Vet.
for us.
I've got a Sir Lucy in here. It's a bit sick. What can we do about him?
Good lord.
And so, you bid the Wormheart kobolds farewell, and you set off into the Valley of Lost Honor, walking along the ruined dwarven road that's buried under a thick layer of dirt and volcanic ash. The jungle tree line flanking you on either side. But out here in the valley, free from the humidity of the jungle, the walk is quite pleasant and not particularly physically strenuous. Who's going to do the survival check? It will only be a +4 this time.
Huzzah.
I was going to say, isn't Ava's slightly higher, or are we just working with...
Yeah, but
Just
she-
working with your guide,
That's right.
but Ava's not here,
Yeah,
so...
I'm going to go with the guy.
The survival,
Yes.
is it? Because yeah, I've got a +8 on survival.
Oh, well,
Wow.
would you like to make the check then, and Salida will assist you, giving you a roll with advantage?
Oh, yeah,
+8?
because I have a plus, like I've got great wisdom,
Yes.
That'll do it.
and I'm proficient in survival, as my background of wanderer.
Ah, nice.
Yep,
Oh,
well,
clever.
you've lost one guide, you're replacing him with Zinhorn.
He's
Just
fine.
remember, Smithy, that if you are doing the navigating, though, you can't do anything during the short rest.
that is correct.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That is a 13 plus 8 is 21.
Salida seems perturbed by the loss of Majarib. She's not used to having to work on her own, as throughout this entire journey there have been 2 guides, but when Zinhorn demonstrates that he's quite skilled in navigation on his own right, she quickly relaxes, and the 2 of them blaze the trail forward through the valley, and the journey is uneventful. Who would like to make the encounter check?
I will.
Go ahead,
Don't
go
do
ahead.
it. It's a loaded weapon.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Yeah, said you definitely do it. I'm good.
4.
4, no encounter tonight. Will you be consuming a ration or will you be foraging?
So can I just ask, does this sort of thing include like foraging and that come in under the short rest? Because
Well, yeah, it's...
yeah,
Well-
my wanderer ability, I've just read it through. It says, in addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day.
Ah, well,
What?
so, yeah, if you weren't
Yeah.
navigating... It's okay, there's plenty more hex crawling to come in the next act, but,
good.
so if you weren't navigating today, you could use your background ability to find food, but otherwise you were busy navigating today, so
Yeah.
when the party makes camp, you are tired and just want to rest. So,
It's all good. Just thought I'd check because
Yes.
I just read that before. I'm like, why?
but you could do that the next
That's
day if
okay.
you like. So I assume Bulb
We all
will
have
be
good
foraging.
Well, I actually wanted to ask, would I be able to forage to try and gain more rations than we use? Like, so basically, we eat a ration tonight, but I go hunting for like a deer or something and try to make multiple days of rations.
That might be possible, but it depends entirely on what you find in the jungle. As you know
Yeah.
from this journey, foraging isn't particularly reliable. You usually only find enough to last you the day, and sometimes nothing at all. So,
So could I say that I go hunting and then see what my results are and then...
yep.
Decide?
And will you be taking Bobbit with you?
If I take Bobbit with me and I hunt a big deer, I'm guessing half the deer is going to go to Bobbit. But that being said, I'm also getting help with the hunting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take Bobbit to help me.
All right.
And Bobbit is a happy Bobbit.
So you may do a survival check, and I'll ask Bobbit to do a perception check with advantage.
Oh boy.
Damn it. With my passive perception, can I see tracks?
Well, that's what the survival check was for.
Yeah.
Rolled a 15.
Ah, well. So what did you
Nice.
get on your survival?
My survival is a 14.
Okay. So after a short session of foraging, you both stumble upon strange tree stumps with cyclops faces. Each stump has 12 branches that hold red cyclops fruits, which, Bulb, you know from your studies, taste like bananas mixed with strawberries. The branches are animated and wave the fruits in complex patterns in front of you like a fast-moving model of a constellation. As you draw near the stumps, the Cyclops' eye opens and watches, and when you are standing in front of the stump's mouth silently opens and its tongue hangs out.
Is this like a trade thing? Do we have to give it something so it gives us the fruit?
Let me check what I actually have though to see if I have something that I can trade.
Oh, it's sitting underneath the branches with their hands out waiting. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how this works. So,
I don't really have anything that's... Can I give it a dinosaur scale?
You take a
Place a dinosaur scale on
You
its
take
tongue.
a dinosaur scale and place it on the stump's tongue. The tongue retracts, the mouth closes, and the face smiles, and then the stump holds out its branches, allowing you to pick your fill of Cyclops fruits.
Woo! Hey, that's how I get rid of my unwillingly given dinosaur scale.
nice.
That worked.
Solid.
Okay, so
You take
I
them.
pick
Yep.
as many as I can carry.
You pick as many as you can carry, put them in your bag, and then follow Bobbit further into the jungle to maybe hunt some meat. Hopefully enough that you'll be able to preserve it for days to come. There isn't much in the way to be found, unfortunately. After spending a couple of hours creeping through the jungle, listening and watching Bobbit look from left to right as her ears perk up at several points and following her, you spot a lone axe beak staring at you from beyond the tree line. And as soon as it notices you are there, it opens its beak and makes a screech, "Ah!" and runs directly towards you.
Can I use my mask to do animal friendship?
Yes you can.
What is animal friendship? Is it a wisdom save on its behalf, or is it just automatically?
It fails its wisdom save, and the axe beak, who is charging at you with his sharp beak pointed straight forward, stops charging. He stands in front of Bobbit. He tilts his head and purrs. And then he raises his right leg and a stream of urine arcs out from underneath him onto the front of Bobbit's armor.
When do I have to roll to break this thing's neck?
I was going to say, while it sits there docilely, I shoot it in the head, but...
No, you leave it alone. This is mine now.
Bobbit, please make a strength check.
That's a 17.
You look down at the yellowish urine dripping down the front of your armor, and then you see red. You leap at the Axebeak, who gives the slightest token effort to struggle, still purring as he tilts his head and stares at Bulb. And then you clasp your hands around its neck, and there is a snap as you snap its neck, and the great bird falls lifeless to the ground.
I was going to say, it's probably a good thing Bolt wears a mask. It's just the look of utter irritation on a 12-year-old's face would have probably been slightly adorable. Just a small pout before she just goes up and violently breaks this thing's neck.
Please
just
make
cast prestidigitation on herself and just go...
Please make a wisdom save with disadvantage, Bobbit.
Aww. Oh dear, that's a 5.
As soon as the beast hits the ground, you bare your teeth and growl, and Bulb, before your eyes, Bobbit violently tears the Axebeak to shreds with her teeth, and when she is done licking blood off her lips underneath the mask, there is little left of it other than bones and feathers.
Actually, I was going to say, Bob's the only one that's seen Bob without her mask, so she probably took it off while she was actually eating this. So it's just, Bob just sort of stops, looks, and just goes, "Aw, I got carried away. Sorry."
However, as Bulb sighs and looks over at the utterly destroyed Axebeak to see if there's anything worth foraging, you do catch sight of something in the tree line behind it. You part some of the foliage, and you find a nest full of large eggs. There are at least a dozen. Each one would serve as an adequate meal for a single person, and these 12 eggs would probably serve as enough food for the next 3 days, or the next 2 days of travel, as there is 6 of you.
2 days of these eggs, and then I've got enough food from the fruit to last today.
Tonight, yep. So 2 more days of. So you may add 2 days of rations to your total.
Okay. Well, you were keeping track of our total, weren't you? Yep.
Yes.
So yeah,
there's now 28.
I'm just gonna have to live the fact that I just orphaned these poor eggs that we're now about to eat. With ever casual smile on face going, "I will be haunted by my actions forever."
You're a weird child, but okay. I help Bobbit take them back.
Yep, and Bobbit, when you return to camp, you've eaten so much and had your fill that after enjoying your share of the roasted fruits for dinner, you retire to your tent and immediately fall asleep, unable to do anything this night.
Oh, thank God.
The next day, you wake up, pack up your tents, and continue once again along the half-buried dwarven road. Who would like to, will Zinhorn navigate again, or will you leave it just up to your guide to navigate today?
Well, we got the extra rations, so I don't need to worry about my additional bonus. So
I'm just hoping that we don't take a month in Onu unable to scavenge.
Yeah, because remember, you'll need these rations when you're in the Tomb of the Nine Gods. So
yeah. Otherwise, then it's a wasted good berry each day.
Yeah.
Which means also it's not the end of the world, because both Smithy and I believe
cast-
even Ava
Can all cast Goodberry, yes.
can all cast Goodberry. It's just I would like to try and give us as many days with full spell slots as possible.
That's a good idea.
So do you want me to use my scouting or my survival or my...
Well, you have 28 rations, which is a lot. So
That being said, I do want to try and do my ritual tonight, so I won't be able to forage tonight.
So
Very
then
well.
I can do the foraging.
Maybe just considering we're not far off, maybe we just work with services on this one.
Yeah.
Unless we can use Ava's.
no, well,
No, well, she's
I
not
don't
here,
have
so...
her sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have her sheet, so.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Salida will attempt to track on her own. Zinhorn, you point out the road and you tell her, all you have to do is follow this, okay? And she just looks at you. She just looks at you with a glare and she says, I think I know how to track. I've been doing this the entire journey. It's my job after all.
No.
Let me believe it's in that one, and it was actually Mujarab the entire time.
I was gonna say, I'm kind of hoping she fails that just for the sass on that one.
So who would like to make a check for Salida? It will be a d20 plus 4.
Oh, M1, because he has really good luck of his dice.
Very well.
That's because as he's saying that minor upgrade for Bobbit, she's actually swapped out the Goblin War mask she was wearing with the disguised self mask that
Yes, the
Bob kind of just let her.
Yeah, let her have.
Decided to let her have. Yeah, so just the nice plain porcelain mask now. Because, that only makes it look even more adorable and definitely not creepy.
How did we
M1
do?
there?
Yeah, he is. So d20 plus 4.
Oh, wait, who's rolling?
You're
so
doing the
like-
survival check
You want
here.
me to roll? Okay.
Yep.
I just sort of shut off in the background when we're talking. I've got 14.
14, that is enough.
Alright.
Salida seems to know where she's going. After all she had to do was follow the Dwarven Road. And so she leads
Lucky I pointed that out for her.
Follow the Dwarven Road. Follow.
She leads you further through the Valley of Lost Honor. The walk is uneventful, save for a minor dust storm that buffets you around midday. Who would like to make the encounter check?
Not me. That being said, if we come across a dinosaur, rations for days.
Okay, I might as well try my luck today.
Go ahead.
That's a 12. That means it's something.
No encounter today.
Yay!
You wait until the storm of volcanic ash passes and pitch your tent in the shadow of an overhanging cliff face. And then, Bobbit, would you like to go off and hunt? Or will you consume rations, which means the party will consume double rations?
Well, am I doing my Wanderer's bonus?
Would you like to find food?
Yes.
Well, you can find food for everyone, but Bobbit will still need to source her own food because of the lycanthropy. But that means if Bobbit wants to eat a ration, it'll cost just 1 ration.
Oh, that's handy. Alright, well, I can
So after
do that.
after the camp is pitched, Zinhorn gets up and silently vanishes into the jungle, and he returns about an hour later, his arms laden with all sorts of fruits and nuts, which he just deposits next to the campfire, complete with full water skins, and he pours out the water skins and he's accrued clear, sparkling water from somewhere in this jungle, which is a rarity. Normally you've had to make do with old stale water or dirty jungle river water that's had to be boiled for half an hour before consumption. And so your ration count goes down to 27 as Bobbit eats an entire party's share of rations all her own.
Yay! No.
Would anyone like to do anything overnight?
I would like to try and do my druidic ritual to make my staff into more of a scimitar pistol by combining one of the fire iron scimitars onto my staff, which will be shortened down into like a pistol.
Yep, so you will actually require Bobbit to help you with this, with her artificer's tools. Bobbit,
Okay, yep.
I was going to say, you help me with mine. I'll help you with yours if you help me with mine.
Sounds good to me.
it'll have to be done on a different night, though.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just saying, Bobbit, will you consent to spending this night assisting Bulb with his staff?
Yeah, Bulb wants help. I help Bulb.
Okay, so I would ask Bulb to please make an Arcana check. The DC will be 18. And Bobbit, please make an Tinkerer's Tools check. The DC will be 18.
Oof. This will be fun.
What's my Arcana now? My Arcana now is a +5. Because it's intelligence, of course it's intelligence.
Ooh, I rolled 18 plus 3, so that's 21, so I've covered my end.
Yep, you've covered your end.
I'm going to use my last inspiration point.
Yep.
Ooh.
That was an 18 exactly.
Ooh.
I rolled a 13.
So, Bulb, you meditate over your staff and briefly absorb its magic into your hands to maintain it, while Bobbit takes the staff and, using her Tinkerer's tools, cuts the staff down until only the top of it remains, discarding the rest of the wood. Bobbit
I keep all the discarded wood.
Yep. Bobbit then takes this head of the staff and, using her Tinkerer's tools, fashions it into the hilt of a sword. She takes the blade of the fire iron scimitar and attaches it to the edge of this hilt, and then hollows out the interior of the hilt, inserting a long metal tube to serve as a makeshift gun barrel, and manufactures a small clockwork mechanism to serve as the trigger and firing mechanism. When this is done, you place your hand onto the weapon and restore the magic. Your staff is now a scimitar. It can no longer be used as a staff. It may only be used as a scimitar. It may be used as a pistol. However, due to the size of the hilt, it is only able to hold one round at a time, and so every time...
Doesn't it still have Bobbit's
it
reloading?
Does. That is correct, it does. So yeah, there's no limitation. You could, however, it can still only fire one round at a time.
Yeah,
so you can only fire it a maximum of once per round.
Fair.
However, you will not need to use an action to reload it.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, just like the duality of like you doing this whole like meditative sort of thing with nature, and there's just Bob in the background with like an angle grinder just going at this stuff.
So now it is a scimitar.
Yes.
And after this session, I will rearrange all my notes so it actually makes a lick of sense to me.
The sun comes up the next morning, and you all awaken to see Salida standing on the edge of the camp, looking out onto the valley as she plots your route out of the valley and into the jungle towards Omu. She sees that you're awake and urges you to quickly pack up the camp, and then as soon as you're done so, without a word, she begins strolling down the dwarven road, disappearing into the tree line ahead. I would like you to please make a survival check for Salida, D20 +4, unless Zinhorn is navigating.
You can take this one.
Yep. Alright. See what I get?
I wish. Oh, I was gonna say, I wish I could roll for that.
Oh.
See, this would be great. A 2 + 4 would have been great on an encounter roll. The actual survival roll, that's bad. That was a 6.
That was a 6. Okay.
All you had to do was follow the damn road.
She follows the road, and you will not end up lost in an adjacent hex. However, there are several portions of the road that are destroyed, buried under rubble and lost in fissures, and rather than trying to find a way around, Salida just leads you straight through this, meaning that you will each require an athletics or acrobatics check to get through this portion of the valley.
Okay.
The DC will be 16.
17 would have been great.
Athletics?
17 would have been great a minute ago.
Yep, athletics
Fine.
or acrobatics.
That is an 18.
18.
I got 13.
13.
So I failed.
Yep. How did Bulb go? How did Bobbit go?
None that 20.
And how did Sir Lucian go? Wait, I know. How
Oh, solid
athletics?
7 there.
7? Okay, so Sir
No.
Lucian and Bulb, you find navigating this portion of the valley to be quite difficult, and at some point you suffer a dangerous fall and take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
If it's falling, can I make my acrobatics check to try and hover in place?
Yes, you may. And you'll
'Cause,
halve the
yeah.
damage in that case.
Yep. Just to explain it, because I'm an owl folk, I got nimble flight.
Yes.
When
Right.
falling, can use a dex save. DC 10 to stop falling and hover in place. So it's
Yep.
just dex save. Which I still failed anyway, so it doesn't fucking
Yep.
matter. Jesus Christ.
And
He just
So,
told wings
you
out
see
to
Sir
heal what is
Lucian
this place.
plummeting down into the chasm, and you try to righten yourself, but you end up landing on your back right next to him, and it takes the party the best part of the next hour to safely recover you both from the chasm before you continue on. Who would like to make the encounter check? And there will be a +1 on this encounter check due to Salida still doggedly leading you through this more dangerous part of the valley.
Stubborn-ass snake.
Who else would like to?
That is a 1 + 1, so that is a 2.
Holy shit.
No encounter
Happiest-
today.
Natural 1!
Happiest nat 1 ever, folks.
Very nice.
So, in the late afternoon, you leave the Valley of Lost Honor behind, are once again swallowed up by the Cholton jungles, and arrive in the vicinity of Omu. That damage you got, you'll just get a long rest as you've reached your destination.
Oh.
So, yep.
Yay.
So all in all, a rather uneventful journey.
Cool.
Okay, okay.
Now I'm just gonna double check all my spells, make sure that they're useful.
Well, I still like to try and upgrade my stuff, although I do have a question for Mr. Stick. It's been kind of bugging me lately.
Yes,
I
what
get
would you
the
like to
chance
ask
to ask him.
Mr. Stick?
Well, while she's not a big fan of talking to him, she does sort of just pop up at one point and go, I would ask you a question.
Speak, child.
See, you told Bobbert when to come here to seek you out in Mesro, but you never mentioned anything about Omu despite the fact that you were here. You also never told us how to get to Omu, and if you were here, you could have just done that from the start. Why didn't you?
Very
Or is this
pertinent.
another one of the... Oh, I was going to say, is this another one of your, grumble, I am evil, ha things that try and mess with me?
Very pertinent observations, child. Yes, I had my own reasons to direct you towards Omu, but I did not know the precise location of the city. And now that we draw near, perhaps I will find what I'm looking for, and if I do, then so do you. Receive your
But-
answers.
But you just said you weren't in Omu, yet all these other people that we've talked to and prophecies all said that you were.
Exactly,
make sense?
child. He just says, exactly, child.
Mm.
It is not night yet, so you won't get to recover your staff. The long rest is sort of an automatic thing that happens as you reach your destination. Like, you don't get to do anything during that long rest because it's, we're
that's
finally out of the jungle. Everyone's just passed out for 12 hours type thing. So,
Fair enough. Maybe tomorrow.
and so you draw nearer to Omu, the Forbidden City. The jungle parts to reveal a dead city enclosed by sheer cliffs. Ruined buildings and stone boulevards rise like ghosts from the floor of the misty basin. Colourful birds glide overhead. A waterfall pours into the basin, creating a swollen river that floods much of the city before draining into a deep rift filled with molten lava. A ruined palace lies a few hundred feet from the edge of the steaming abyss. As you stand on the cliffs surrounding the city, you have quite a good look down into the once sprawling metropolis. Is there anything you would like to do before you enter?
Can I do a photography check of the area?
Yes, you may. Please do a cartographer's tools check.
I like making maps. That's a nat 20. I see all, I write all.
You perch on the edge of the cliff, sitting on the edge of it and looking down into the city with a parchment and your cartographer's tools in hands, and you draw a rough depiction of the streets laid out before you and mark down any locations of interest that you could see. First, an old gatehouse right in the entrance of the city. Second, a ruined campsite enclosed within 4 stone walls. And third, at the very northern edge of the city, an amphitheatre resting against the cliff face. As you watch Bobbit mark down the locations in the city that seem interesting, you all feel a sort of static electricity hanging in the air, some force of magic causing the hairs on your arms to stand upright and the skin on your face to tingle. Mr. Stick's voice echoes in Bobbit's mind. Yes, I can sense it, and you can too, can't you? The soulmonger's influence hangs in the air, and beyond that I can feel... Yes, interesting. Young Alessander, it is time to make good on your promise. I have a favor to ask of you.
It's going to come, but... fine. What are you after?
In this city, somewhere, is another me, an imposter. I wish to locate them, but after they have been located, you must do nothing until I direct you to do so, until I fully understand the implications of his existence and why he is here.
Wait, how is there another you? Have I ever heard of this one? Is he the one that's been talking to me as well, or has it just been you? Why is there another you?
He says, we are different, yet the same, and I cannot explain exactly how. This is why, if you were to locate this imposter, I ask that you sway your bloodlust and that of your companions until I fully understand. Furthermore, I feel that our path will inevitably bring us in front of the Soulmonger. When the Soulmonger is found, I ask that you do not immediately destroy it, and that you prevent your companions from doing so.
But that's the whole point of us coming here.
There is something I wish to do with it first.
What do you want to do with it?
Never you mind, Alessandra. Just
No. We're not doing the never you mind stuff. You have been avoiding all of Bobbitt's questions this entire time, and the ones you don't answer, you lie about. This isn't fair.
Make a persuade check, please, Bobbit.
Bobbit is not happy with this plan. Any of this plan. There's a 15 plus 7, sir.
Mr. Stick says, this other me that resides in the city, if he is who I suspect him to be, then we share the same soul. In essence, we are two halves of a greater whole. And if the soulmonger has power over souls, I would use it to reunite the two wholes and enforce the will of my personality over his.
Bobbit will try, but she can't promise anything.
You need only try, Alessandra. Just remember, there is something in it for you. I've made headway on that deal that you foolishly negotiated with the Babao.
See, everyone else is probably just watching Bobbit singing, looking like she has the most annoying headache
Yeah.
ever.
Would anyone like to comment?
Like, I mean, she's under the mask, but Bobbit's just not looking good at the moment from what you can see.
Bold can guess that a conversation with Mr. Stick has not gone well, but he will execute a little test and see if Bobbit has learnt from the past.
Do we hear her talking to
No,
Mr. Stick?
this is all in her head.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
all in her head. All you can tell is that she's like staring intently at the stick with her face screwed up in frustration.
Yeah, again, which is really hard to tell considering, she's wearing a mask.
Wearing a
over.
mask.
So it's probably just like little
So
things
it'd probably
like,
just be Bob.
clenched
It'd
fists
probably
around-
just be Bulb who could tell.
So no one wants to question on this?
Yeah, Bulb is making it a teachable moment.
Bob is more seeing what she's doing, hoping that she has learnt from the past.
And you just see
That she can come and ask for help if need be.
So
is the conversation ended at this point?
it has, yes.
Because Bobbit at the end of that, you just see her stow Mr. Stick behind her, like in its holster behind her back, and is just sort of stamping and muttering to herself, and just goes, "We might have problems, but you can't be mad at Bobbit for this."
Go on, child.
What would everyone think if there was more than one Mr. Stick?
You have another staff that can talk?
Do I know of this, or
You know that Mr. Stick is Bobbit's staff, and that from what you've been able to tell, the party is not very forthcoming about it. But from what you've been able to tell, Mr. Stick is Bobbit's
He's
patron.
heard of like the whole Rust the Sea thing as well. So
Yes.
Zinhorn's a smart cookie. I'm sure he can.
Yes.
put
So
two and
yeah,
two together.
Zinhorn, you pretty much know the full of it.
Alright.
You know that Bobbitt's staff, who Bobbit calls Mr. Stick, is actually Rust Nasi, the dreaded necromancer who destroyed most of civilization in Cholk 200 years ago, who is
Right.
said to reside within this city.
Well, if there is more than one, then it's too many.
It's like Bobbit just looks incredibly annoyed, just going, first he tells Bobbit to look for him in Mesro, then we get to Mesro and he's not there, and then we get told he's in Omu, and apparently the one that's here in Omu is different from the one that Bobbit has, but the same at the same time, and he doesn't want us to destroy the Soulmonger right away. for a really dumb reason, but he's probably going to be really mad at Bobbit if she doesn't do it.
You see Sir Lucian just immediately straighten up.
I know, it's dumb, and it's the whole point of us coming here. This whole thing is dumb.
Oh, I feel like I've made my feelings pretty clear about the whole necromancy thing.
Do you think Bobbit has to be a necromancer? This stuff is given to Bobbit. This wasn't her choice.
And so you have the entire city of Omu laid out before you. Where would you like to go?
Before we go anywhere, Bulb actually says to Bobbit, well, at least this time you came and asked for help immediately. You know that you have our support, no matter what happens.
Bobbit just somehow, despite being under the mask, gives you the most deadpan expression, just sort of gestures over to Zinhorn going, yeah, everyone's support.
Yes, well, when we reach this second Mr. Stick.
Just call him Rasnasi, Bobbit.
Rasnasi.
Just in a very
When we...
voice. Just call him Rasnasi. Bobbit's not good at pretending anymore.
When we get to this second Rasnasi, we may pause before trying to end him. But let's just hope there's a good reason. But that being said, if we do end up having to destroy it, you will have our support in whatever you need to survive.
If it comes to destroying here, just sort of like stares at Bulb and just goes, if it comes to destroying Rasnasi, Bobbit will make peace with that.
Salida stands up and she comes to the edge of the cliff with you and she looks over the city and then she says, I have a confession to make.
Oh god!
Oh, good!
Yay! Well, we're all sharing. Let's get to the fun.
She says, I grew up here. I've known where it is this whole time.
I was gonna say there's just this very strangled noise underneath Bobbit's mask.
Bob has just got a deadpan look. As hard as it is for an owl to have a deadpan look, he's just like deadpan. He's willing to show sympathy for Bobbit because Bobbit has been with us from the beginning and he's also still a little child.
Oh, she is, yes.
But we've already had one secret being revealed the hard way through Salida. So...
I was just stuffing bread in the backyard going, why does everyone know what this secret place is? You'd never tell anybody!
Salida just shrugs and bites her bottom lip and then she solemnly says, it doesn't matter now. And then she begins to step down a great stone staircase that leads down off the cliff into the city below.
No. Bobbit's gonna go in front of her going, no, Bobbit already had to share her secrets, your turn.
I'm next to Bobbit with this one.
Yeah,
I already still don't have full trust in Salida.
Sharing secrets. Bobbit has to share, so does everyone else.
I'm standing behind with magic crackling in my hand, getting ready to cast a spell if she keeps trying to walk.
She stops and sighs, exhales, places a hand on her hip and says, I am a Yuan-Ti. This is where the Yuan-Ti in Cholt come from. Why would you assume I've never been here?
Other than Ava, none of us know anything about Cholt.
And Ava's just looking with her wings folded, just staring silently as if silently saying, why didn't you lead us here? And Salida says, well, if I knew this was our ultimate destination, perhaps I would have led you straight from Port Nyanza route here. We didn't know this is where we were going at the time. It wasn't until that Naga told us we had to go here, and I figured At that point, it would be best to keep up the charade.
Just gives her a very like straightforward gaze of untrust.
I feel like I've figured out what this campaign's theme is. Secrets.
Yes.
Secrets, yeah.
She shrugs and she says, I doubt you came all this way to bicker. We're here now. Let's be on with it. We have a death curse to end. And she gestures towards Sir Lucian.
Why do you think Bobbitt's so upset about the whole keeping the soul forge thing going?
So you descend down into the city, and despite where you'd like to go, you're going to pass the gatehouse anyway. So,
Yeah.
because it's right in the entrance.
Makes sense to me.
Sorry, I'm going to be a bit slow with this because this is a big sandbox chapter, and I constantly have
it's
to.
fine, man.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine.
A guardhouse stands near the entrance to the city. Arrow slits are cut into its limestone walls, and a lopsided iron portcullis hangs over the gateway, beyond which you could see an open plaza. You cannot see any signs of movement coming from inside the gatehouse or beyond. Would you like to stop and check, or would you like to press on?
I feel like this is probably the most looted place of this area if adventurers come by, but at the same time, we can't exactly afford to skip anything at this point, so Bol would like to go have a quick look inside.
Because you know the Soulmonger's in Omu, but you don't know where. Okay,
That's
so
true.
Yeah,
Bol, I'd like you to make a stealth check, please.
And as I'm walking in, does that make my elven boots activate?
Yes.
Yep, cool. That is a 19.
You creep towards the entrance to the gatehouse and push open the rotting wooden door and step inside. Much of the interior has collapsed into rubble. Creepers cling to the walls, and high grasses sprout between the flagstones amid evidence of long-dead campfires. One wall is covered with graffiti, some words painted, others etched. The graffiti is all written in common. From a number of different hands, it reads, "Fear the fangs of Ras Nasi. Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. The puzzle cubes are the key. Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk? All hail the king of feathers. The snakes are not what they seem. Kubuzan, bravery. Shagabi, wisdom. Moa? Question mark.
Okay, do we...
Oh,
Can we get
going
all
to
of
provide that.
Can we get all of that at some point? written
Yeah,
down?
I'm going to
Holy
put
crap.
that in the Discord for you.
Okay, cool, because that was rattled off far too fast for me to make notes.
It's just reading it out for the sake of the audience.
No, yeah,
but I will provide it in Discord.
Cool.
I'm just going to post it up now. By this time, the others probably will have come into the
Yeah, having not
gatehouse.
heard Bob
Yeah.
scream out in pain, you
See
can
that
assume
there
that
is
it's safe.
no signs of life, and there you go. There is the graffiti.
Okay, so there's at least one boss, 2 bosses.
Yeah, so many
I don't know who the King of Feathers is. I'm fairly certain I know what the frog monster is.
Bobbitt's just consistently staring at that first line and just sighing to herself.
And then Unk.
Bobbit, you can make a history check if you like.
Can I do like an insight or just a base intelligence to see if I know what Unk is?
You can make a religion check, actually.
Religion, okay.
Oh, fun. If that's possible, those as well, but history is a 24.
That's a 17 actually, so that's one of my better rolls
So,
today.
first of all, Bobbit, you close your eyes and try to find buried knowledge, lost memories of your life in Cholt. The King of Feathers, the King of Feathers. You've heard that somewhere before, and after a few minutes it comes to you. The King of Feathers is a mythical Tyrannosaurus Rex said to stalk the jungles of Cholt, double the size of his brethren. The King of Feathers is known to be one of Upto's direct children and has control over the jungle and its inhabitants.
Hey.
I was excited right until you started mentioning the whole Uptown thing, going, oh, he's not gonna like me. Aww.
Keep in mind, it's only said to be a child of Uptown. It may just be an unusually large T-Rex.
Well, either way, Bobbitt's gonna turn around and explain that to the rest of the group, just going, big T-Rex, really strong.
Meanwhile, Bulb, you recognize some of these names. You've been working with Ava in your time in Cholton, learning a bit about some of the Cholton religions, and you recognize the names Unk, Kabuzan, and Shagambi as minor gods who ruled over Omu in times past. Similar to other minor gods such as Mudmore and Nang Nang, though these ones in all the writings appear to be entirely devoted to the rule of Omu and its inhabitants and are opposed to Uptown.
Lovely. Well, I let the others know this, and I turn to Salida and go, care to share anything about what you might know about any of these?
She says, gods of the people who lived here. My people have not paid much stock to it. We have our own worship. With this, she clasps her hand around the statue of Dendar the Night Serpent.
I get that one.
Okay, well, do you know what they mean by the snakes or not what they seem?
She says, well, I would hazard a guess that any adventurers who penetrated far enough into the city would have found my people, and discovered that indeed those are not normal snakes. She just gives you a cold smile.
Yeah, well, I guess I can accept that.
There's a lot of fuck inside that.
Well, you can inside it as well, you're watching it.
Yeah, but I have absolute jack shit for wisdom.
I'm can inside.
You could go ahead.
Somebody that isn't Bobbit inside.
I got a 16 for insight.
She seems to be taking a bit too much pleasure in the way that she describes the Yuan Ti ambushing adventurers by appearing to be snakes and then transforming.
I confront her about it.
She just shrugs and she says, what can I say? It's a clever way of ambushing someone.
Yeah, Bobbit can understand that.
She says, and any adventurers who would come this far and not be prepared for something like that, well, they deserve to die.
What kind of serpents do they pretend to be?
She says, pythons primarily. Large ones that like to strangle their prey. Although some Yuan Ti will prefer to take other forms. Rarely ever anything venomous. Something that would appear to be not particularly threatening to an uneducated adventurer.
We can expect a few boa constrictors.
Yes, likely.
Fun.
Would you like to move on from the ruined gatehouse?
There's not much else we can really work with here.
We have a passive investigation of 17. Do I notice anything else just around the
No,
place?
the gatehouse
Okay.
is, as you suspected, been looted long ago. It seems to be just a place where adventurers congregate when arriving in the city, and as you see, sometimes leave messages for each other.
Okay, well, I'm happy to move on if the others are happy to move on.
So
Yeah,
where would you
I'll-
like to go?
Actually, as the group's leaving, Bobbit quickly ducks back inside, and then well, I assume Bobbit has stuff to write with.
Yeah, you've got stuff to write with.
Just a small note right at the bottom of this like wall of graffiti, just a little thing with Bobbit was here with a little smiley face next to it.
So where would you... Yep, and as you come out, you rejoin the others. They're moving beyond...
I'm trying to think of places to go to, but
I mean, I guess we can go have a look at these two buildings on
Yep,
our way
tell
to the main, what looks...
happen.
this is fine.
Okay, you make your way down past the gatehouse into the city proper, and as you move through the open plaza, walk across the weeds and creeper-choked cobblestones, Selida stops. She reaches into her cloak and pulls out the sending stone. She brings it up to her mouth, and in Draconic, with a notable hiss, whispers, "It's time."
Oh,
I immediately alert everybody by saying, what do you mean it's time?
She turns to you and she smiles, and as she lowers the sending stone, you hear rustling amongst the foliage and rubble around you, and then suddenly 5 Yuan T, their bottom halves humanoids, their heads serpentine, leap out of cover, their weapons drawn. I'd like everyone to roll for initiative, please. And this is where Sir Lucian gets to
You I
use his...
didn't trust her.
God damn it.
Fuck, that one, so 4 for my initiative.
Oh, cool. I have also rolled a nat 1. Do we want to roll off to see who gets to go last?
Sure, let's go.
That's 19 plus 3, so I'd get to go second last, I guess. Unless you're
I got a 4 plus 3, so...
Okay, cool. So we'll just
Yeah.
at the bottom as we were in sheer disbelief that what we knew was going to happen actually finally happened.
How did Zinhorn go?
22.
22.
Shut up, of course. So
Okay, so it is Zinhorn first.
Because I don't get surprised.
Yes, it is
So-
Zinhorn first, and as the Yuan Ts brandish their weapons, Selida just smiles and says, "Now's your chance. Surrender or fight."
are you going to kill us if we surrender?
She says, "That's up to Ras Nasi to decide."
I love that because that was not entirely Bobbit, that was Michael.
Yeah.
There is just many voices going on right now, all of which are violently angry.
So,
Guess I'll make my turn.
yep, so Zinhorn, what would you like to do?
I mean, are we surrendering or what are we doing?
Yeah, are you going to surrender or are you going to fight? You can fight them off, there's only 5.
I know, but Robert's also working on that whole deal that Rasnasi wants for, and one of them was involving meeting actually getting to Rasnasi.
Well, Zinhorn, not knowing exactly how to feel about this, is not going to actually, is going to hold and Ice Knife at level 2
Yep.
towards Salida.
Yep.
Oh, it's the leader. Oh, she's not actually. Okay, she's not reversing.
So I'm holding it like so to see what the rest of the party do. So it's ready to just.
Yep. Very well. It is the Yuan T's turn. One of the Malisons hisses, its forked tongue touching the air, and it says, "Too late! Ras Nasi wants you dead!"
Which one? Bob just could Bob yell out something? I know it's not my turn, but
Yeah, what would...
just Bob literally just yells out, "Which one?" And actually, shit. At this point, I might as well be smart and just drop the mask down slightly so they can actually see the mark of Rasnasi on her forehead.
All of the Malisons hiss, and Salida points at you and says, "See? The imposter!"
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, we're killing everybody here.
And Bob just actually growls about 3 different languages all at once, of course.
Okay.
None of
I'm...
the fucking bitch people are gonna die horribly.
Yeah, kill them all.
So at this decision, does then the knife go off, or does it have to wait till?
Oh,
No,
you
if
can...
if you've used it as a held reaction, you can do it right now.
Yeah, you can do it right now if you want.
Yep, Ice Knife it straight at Salida's face.
Yep, alright, roll to hit her.
Come on, that is a 16 plus 8.
That is...
24 to hit.
24 to hit? Yeah, it's definitely a hit. Go ahead, roll your damage.
Alright, so first and foremost, 1d10. That is a 9 plus 3d6.
9 plus 3d6.
So it's 9 plus... Oh, that's good. That's 11. That is 14 cold damage on top of the 9.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so Salida is hit with the knife. She hisses at you and then uses her cunning action to... then actually, she moves behind the nearby ruins and uses her cunning action to hide. She rolls a 22 on her stealth and
Not even
disappears into the cover. It is the Yuan
On
T...
my-
Yep.
Oh, right. Damn, I just realised I can't do bonus action after I've held.
Yeah, no,
Never
you
mind.
can't because you
No,
used your
unfortunately.
reaction.
Yep.
It is the Yuan T Warlock's turn. It slithers forward, taking cover behind a tree in front of you, and then casts... that's 10 feet. It casts Hex on Bulb.
Son of a bitch. What does Hex do?
It hisses at you, cursing you until the spell ends. It deals an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to you whenever it hits you with an attack. Also, it chooses Wisdom and gives you disadvantage on ability changes made with the chosen ability.
Damn.
On ability what, sorry?
On Wisdom.
Yeah, but what involving wisdom? Sorry, you cut out for me.
Any Wisdom check you do gets disadvantage.
So any wisdom check I do. Okay, and is Hex a concentration spell?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
It then uses a bonus action to fire an Eldritch Blast at Bulb.
Oh, fuck you and your
bonus action.
fucking
It has an
invocation.
invocation. Yep, it has an invocation.
That's
And
an invocation for that shit?
yes, there
Yeah.
is for this monster. I don't know if it's a thing that's unique to this or not, but it has it.
Bitch.
It is a non-natural 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits even with my shield now.
Okay, so that will be to hit Bulb. It's only one beam, however. That is 9 points of force damage plus 4 points of necrotic damage. 13 damage
13.
altogether.
So that's 46, 43. Jesus Christ.
Yuan T. Mellison 1 slithers forward, raises his longbow, and fires at Sir Lucian. And that is a 14 on his first. The arrow bounces harmlessly off Sir Lucian's shield. And 22 on the second. That is a hit to Sir Lucian. Sir Lucian takes 9 points of piercing damage, plus 9 points of poison damage. So 18 damage to Sir Lucian. Yuan T. Malice at 4 slithers forwards, raises its longbow, and fires at Zinhorn. That is a 15 to hit on the first.
Misses.
And a 16 to hit on the second.
Misses. I am not happy with them.
Yes. Yuan T. Malison 3 slithers forwards, raises its longbow, and fires at Bobbit.
Yay!
And that is a 12 to hit. It just bounces
Nope.
uselessly off your shield. And the second is a 7. You duck and hold your shield in front of you as the second arrow sails over your head.
Alright.
Yuan T. Malison 2 slithers up next to the Yuan T. Warlock and polymorphs into a medium-sized constricting snake.
Ah, great.
We're going to play that game, are we?
Yes. And it is now Sir Lucian's turn. So after you've taken your 18 points of damage, Sir Lucian, what would you like to do?
Well, I came out at the right time. 18 points of nice damage. What happened there?
You were hit by a poisoned arrow. And it dealt 9 damage from the arrow hitting you, and then another 9 damage from the poison.
Ah, okay, so... can I please... Oh, I got alert, so I think they were charging... Yeah. You know, I might just throw throwing axes at... one Team Malice on 1.
Alright, go ahead, roll to hit it.
Absolutely. That is an 18.
An 18. And that is a hit. You may roll for damage.
Oh, I got fat fingers. I can't reach it. Alright, I'm gonna use Discord rolling a d10. I reach into the packet. That is 3 plus 4 still?
3 plus
10 points.
4. Yep. And you get a second attack.
Beautiful. That is a 6.
That is a 6. Unfortunately, that's a miss. The Malison hisses as your axe sails over its head. You might need to run up and put that new sword to use. Would you like to get in range for a sword attack, so next round you can just...
Why are you attuned to that?
Yeah, you're attuned to it already. You would have done it at the during the long rest. So you just like to run up to, say, the Warlock and get ready to hit him next turn?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was the next person.
You grab the sword and charge and run towards the Yuan T. Warlock with your new +3 longsword raised. It is now Ava's turn. Ava spreads her wings, flies up in the air, and fires her bow with advantage at Yuan T. Warlock. And she hits, dealing 9 points of normal damage, plus 4 points of psychic damage, 13 points of damage. She then makes a second attack with advantage, and unfortunately misses. It is now Bobbit's turn, and I believe I am... you're still here?
I can see for this turn, but I don't get for half
Yep.
a second, unfortunately. Okay, so many options, so much rage, so little to do. I am... I'm gonna... so many options. damn it. Bobbit will move up next to Solution. I kind of want to try and take out the main wall if that's here. I'm guessing Salita's buggered off somewhere else.
And as you move towards the warlock, you see the telltale crimson triangle stamped on its serpentine head.
I mean, Bobbit was already angry to begin with, but, you know, now, hooray, just slightly more rage involved. Okay, I was hoping to try and get... Actually, nope, that's what I'm going to do. Let's go try one of her new spells she's got, and is going to swing at her with her staff and cast Inflict Wounds upon her, upon the warlock.
Nice.
So I have to do a melee spell attack, so
Yep.
usual... Okay, that is 16 plus 7. I'm guessing that hits.
16 plus 7. Yes, that is a hit.
Wonderful. And the joy about this one is Inflict Wounds at, I believe, 3rd level is going to be 5d10 necrotic damage.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Bobbit is not happy. Now we're going to get into the... what's going to happen once she finds Salita, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's going to be 34 points of necrotic damage as Bobbit just yells angrily and just swings Mr. Stick directly into this warlock's face.
Mr. Stick's voice says, "Die, servant of the imposter, die!" As you slam the stick into the Yuan-Ti warlock and it hisses in rage.
Alright, and now I will be right back.
Yep, it is now Bulb's turn. What would Bulb like to do if he's there?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking at my spells, and I still don't know what I want to do. It's like I can't. It won't matter if I entangle these guys because they've got longbows. I don't have an AoE Earth attack to do heaps of damage to them. Fuck it, I'm going to bonus action Misty Step 30 feet straight up.
Yep,
Then
in
I'm
the
gonna
air.
fly. Then I'm gonna fly slightly forward and as high as I can go while still being... Hold on, I just need to look up the distance of Scorching Ray, which I actually believe is like 100 or something. It's 120 feet. I'm just gonna fly 90 feet straight up using... not 90, 60 feet straight up. Like,
Yep.
Bonus action,
Straight up
30
in the
feet.
air, right up next to Ava.
Yep. And then I'm casting a 4th level Scorching Ray.
Yep. Alright, go ahead, roll your
So
hits.
that's 4 attacks on the warlock.
Very well. Go ahead and roll.
Because is he looking really hurt, or is he not being hurt
He's
that much?
actually looking quite a bit hurt from Bobbit's create wounds, yes.
Fuck it, I want him dead. So the first one is a 26.
That's a hit.
The second one is a 24.
That's a hit.
The third one is a 13.
That's unfortunately not a hit.
Okay, that's fine. And the fourth one is a 27.
That's a hit.
So that's 3 hits. They all get 2d6 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 66. Now I just need to make sure I don't have any bonuses I'm not adding by forgetting. So it's +1 to 1 fire damage roll. I don't have any other magic buffs, I don't think. No, I do not. Could I actually use my Dice of the Trickster to do that third roll?
You sure can.
Okay, so is that just a D100.
Yep.
1 to.
Yep.
Okay, I'll roll that in here.
Tell me what you got.
I got a 59.
It is a nat. It counts as a 20.
So that's 1 nat 20 for the damage.
Yes.
Then. So
Yep.
that third one actually hits.
Will actually be the maximum amount of damage you can get on that dice. So what is it? A 3d6. So you would
2d6
get.
and a 12.
Yeah. So that counts as a 6 on that dice.
Okay. So that's 12 damage, 16, 21, 24, 28, 31, 32, 33 damage on this warlock.
Ooh. The flames lick at the Yuan-Ti warlock's skin and it hisses in pain, but somehow is still alive, but only barely.
Yeah.
It is...
Fucking beep! I yell in Draconic.
It hisses back at you with an unmistakable hiss. Your mother was a jungle camel. It is Zinhorn's turn.
I don't know what that means,
but I don't think I'm a camel.
Don't know what that means, but you are going to eat those words as I pull out some dust and water, and I cast Ice Storm.
Ooh, nice.
And I want to cast it somewhere here because it's a 20-foot radius, which means it should be able to hit everything here.
Yep.
And not hit Lucian or Bobbit, since they had to
Yep.
alter my plans.
So they are going. So yep.
So,
All
dex
5
of 16.
enemies are going to make dex saves. So that is an
Dex of-
8, a 16 from the warlock,
Of course.
20 from the polymorphed Yuan-Ti, a 20 from Yuan-Ti 3, an 8 and a 6. Sorry, an 8, a 16, a 20, 20, and an 8. So yeah.
The two
Yuan-Ti 1
eights.
and 4 both fail, everyone else passes.
Alright, so it is 2d8, which is, so that's 10 force damage,
Yep.
plus 4d6, whoop, which is 6 and 6 is 12, and 5 is 17, and 3 is 20.
20, okay.
So full damage is 10 of force and 20 of ice damage,
Yep.
or cold damage.
And
And
halved
half.
is 15. Yuan-Ti Warlock hisses as the cold wind sap the last of its life away.
I told you would eat those words!
It is the enemy's turn.
Also, I'm going to run over to the cover over to the side here.
Yep.
So
Yep. And vanish into the foliage.
Mask of the Wild to...
Bob, make a perception check, please.
Perception? Okay. 7. Although my
7. Yep.
passive is 20, so...
Passive won't do anything in this
Yep,
case.
that's fine.
Selena appears out of hiding beneath you, and she raises her hand crossbow and makes 2 multi attacks with it. So the first is an 18.
Yeah, so...
First
An
is
18 meets it, so beats
Yep.
it.
Okay, so you are taking, first of all, 8 points of piercing damage, plus her sneak attack of 2d6, 7 points of extra damage from the sneak attack, and then she uses her cunning action to dash away from you and makes a stealth check. And she gets to do that with advantage. That is a 20 on her stealth check.
Well, I meet it, so I beat it, so I know
Yep.
where she is.
So you know that she is here. So, yep, she tried to hide and she is hiding here.
Okay.
It is Yuan T. Malison 2's turn. It slithers over to Sir Lucian and attempts to constrict him. That is a 12 to hit, so Lucian pushes his shield out, knocking the huge snake off him and making it topple down onto the floor. Yuan T. Malison 3 rushes up and tries to hit Ava with its scimitar. And that is...
It did have, what is it called? Difficult terrain.
Yes, yeah. But it's still got enough movement to get that far. So it misses both times as Ava's flying too high up in the air. Yuan T. Malison 4 raises his... Actually, let's see how much he's got. 10, 20, 30... Let's see how much movement do they have. Yuan T. Malison 4 raises his longbow and fires at Zinhorn, who is in cover, so he'll be rolling with disadvantage. On the first, that is a 15 to hit.
Misses.
So the arrow hits the stone wall and ricochets away. And the second is a 18 to hit.
Just hits.
Just hits. So you take 4 points of piercing damage plus 8 points of poison damage. So 12 points altogether. It is Yuan T. Malison 1's turn, as he attempts to hit Bobbit with his scimitar. The first attack is an 11. Bobbit carefully deflects it, and the second is a nat 20.
Well, I picked a great time to come back, didn't I?
Yep. Bobbit takes 14 points of slashing damage.
Ow. Why?
And then, because the Yuan T hit you with his scimitar, he goes in for a bonus bite attack.
No, I'm good. I don't
that
need anything else biting me.
That is a 24 to hit, non-nat.
Awesome, awesome. I hope he likes poison blood, because that's essentially what lycanthropes have.
You take 3 points of piercing damage, plus 11 points of poison damage, so 14 altogether.
Oh, jolly good.
It is now Sir Lucian's turn.
And with that, I will be right back.
Yep.
Of course.
Right, time to test this new longsword out.
Go ahead, roll to hit that Malison.
Reach into the side of my 1T's friend.
Yep.
Right. That is a 16. I'm pretty sure that's a hit.
Yep, that's a hit. Roll for damage, and remember you add +3 to the damage, along with your strength mod. So you're getting, I think,
still a D8,
7.
isn't it?
Yes, I think you're getting a bonus 8 damage on this. It's D8 plus 8.
Oh no. Let's do this. That is a. It's a banana 1.
That's okay. 1 plus 8 is still 9 damage. That's still 9 damage.
Yeah, at least it was for the damage,
Yeah.
not the attack.
Go ahead for your second
Another
attack.
I turn around and go for round 2. I roll a hit. That is a fresh banana number 1.
A nat 1.
Jesus.
And as the Malison takes the hit, you move in for the kill and begin to bring down your sword, and then you feel that familiar soft squishiness under your heel and swear fuck as you fall backwards, knowing what is about to happen. It is Bobbit's turn.
Hey, I'm back.
I mean, I really want to deal with Salida, but, you know, the two guys in front of me are kind of more of an issue. So, number 1 was the one that bit me, right?
Yes.
And how did you say number 2 was?
Number 2's a bit hurt. It's taken some damage from the ice storm, and Sir Lucian's also hit it for 9 damage. So it's
Okay, so that whole going into the kill thing was more of a plot story thing than
it's
damage.
possible he may have killed it if he rolled a certain amount on his attack, on his damage roll.
Well, Bobbitt's gonna take her staff, go to aim at number 1, then immediately fake out and switch to number 2 and fire 2 Eldritch Blasts directly at it.
Ooh, go ahead, roll to hit.
And the first one is a nat 20. Damn, I should have gone for number 1. That would have been a nice revenge shot. And the second is a non-nat 20. Weird.
Oh, well, both hit. Roll the
So
damage.
Okay, so the first one is, oh boy, 7 plus 4 times 2, so that's 22 points on the first hit.
Yep, and the
Anything
second
left?
is...
Alright, still alive, cool. Second one is 9 plus 4, so 13 on the second.
13. And he goes down, coiling up.
Just blasted into absolute bits.
It is Ava's turn, and Ava is going to fly back and then fire her bow at Yuan-Ti Mellis at 3. She hits him with a nat 20 for 14 points of damage plus 1 point of psychic damage, and then goes in for her second attack and hits him for another 5 points of damage.
Yay.
It is now Bulb's turn.
Bulb, seeing where Salida is going to fly to within, I think Blight is 30 feet. To within 30 feet of Salida.
Yep. Fly
So
within
obviously-
30 feet of it. So about
Yeah.
here.
So I've flown down a little bit, obviously, but I'm still in the air, and I'm going to cast Blight on her.
Yay.
She must make a Constitution saving throw, and she must now beat a 16.
That is a 16 just.
Fucking bitch. I still got to roll 8d8, and she takes half damage, though.
Yep, go ahead.
So 15 damage.
She hisses at you. Kalakcha! It is now Zinhorn.
And I don't have any bonus actions.
Yep.
Well, actually, as a bonus action, I can drink a potion, can't I?
Yes, you can.
I am going to drink. Oh, what's my best diet potion? My Supreme Healing Potion.
Yep,
What's a Supreme Healing Potion?
it is. Let me just look this up because I don't have my TM screen in front of me. Supreme Healing is 10d4 plus 20.
10d4 plus 20. I might actually need that many.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not. Okay, maybe I'll keep that one for a little bit later, and I'll just use a normal potion of healing.
Yep. 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. Okay, cool. Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Yep, okay, it is Zinhorn's turn.
1 and 1. Oh my fucking god, I got 4
Um,
health back.
So, Zinhorn is going to race across in front, like the full, what am I forgot, 35 feet across
Yep,
towards where, like straight across towards Bulb's side.
yep. You sprint across the plaza towards him. Yuan-Ti Mellis at 3 gets an attack of opportunity, swinging out with his scimitar, and he hits you with a 24. You take 7 points of slashing damage.
Yep. Then I am going to be shaped into the Ice Spider Queen.
Yep. Ooh.
Somebody's angry.
And then I am going to hold my Icy Web ranged attack for the moment Salida appears.
Yep. Moment you could see her. Sure.
Yep.
Okay. It is now the enemy's turn. Yep.
Damn, I forgot to say that I point out where she is.
Yes. It's
But I
okay.
didn't. So,
But she, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you should probably have seen where you were fighting her from.
No, I only had to be within 30 feet to attack her.
Okay, so Bulb can see her, so she's not going for a sneak attack on Bulb. Bobbit, please make a perception check.
So I'm shooting the ice webbing.
When after she attacks Bobbit, you will.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Ooh, that's 16.
16. Unfortunately, her stealth was 20, so you don't see her. You don't see her until the last moment. You see her emerge from the brush with her dagger in hand. Zinhorn, now you let off your attack.
Yep, that is a 17 plus 5, so 22 to hit.
That hits her.
The target is now restrained by webbing.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
So she's going to roll with advantage on her short sword to hit Bobbit.
Wait, if she's restrained, does that mean... Wait, how is she hitting me if she's restrained?
Well, she can still attack. Restrain doesn't stop you from attacking; it just stops you from moving.
Oh.
But it does give
And
you you disadvantage on attacks.
Oh, that's helpful. So, yay, disadvantage.
So on her first attack, it is... Well, actually, and she'd get advantage because she was sneaking up, but it's just going to be a normal roll, this first one.
Boo.
That is a nat 20. 25.
Boo. Okay, no, stop that. Stop critting the Bob.
She
Bob, it
hits...
does like crits.
She hits you for 11 points of slashing damage, plus her sneak attack, 6. So 17 points altogether. She then goes for her second attack with disadvantage, and does not have a chance of hitting you, as she's restrained by a web. And she also can't move, so she's going to stay right here.
Yes, so we have advantage. She has disadvantage on us. And disadvantage on dexterity.
It is Yuan T. Malice at 3's turn. He slithers up to into Spiderhorn and makes a scimitar attack. That is a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Okay, so that is 7 points of slashing damage.
I need to get a note for this.
We went from Rhyhorn to Spyhorn.
Yes,
Spyhorn.
This is a weird evolution path.
It's
It's a clean Spyhorn too.
At this point, we've literally gone straight into Digimon.
his second attack is also a 19, so he hits you for 4 points of slashing damage, and then because he hit you, he gets to make a bonus bite attack. And that is only a 9, unfortunately, for him, as he is unable to pierce the thick exoskeleton of your spider form.
So that's an extra 9 damage, okay?
Yep. Yuan T. Malice at 4 slithers also up to Spyhorn and makes 2 scimitar attacks. That is an 11 and a 16.
The 11 misses, the 16 hits.
Yep, so that is 6 points of slashing damage. And then he goes in for a bite attack. That is a 23. You take 4 points of piercing damage, and as a spider, I presume you're resistant or immune to poison?
Damage resistance cold.
Okay, so not poison. You then take 16 points of poison damage from the bite.
Ouch.
As he pumps venom through his fangs. It is now Sir Lucian's turn.
Wait, quick question. What weapon was Salidi using against me?
A short sword.
Just a regular one?
Just a regular one.
I'm supposed to have been getting resistance to all of this because.
Oh yeah, you are. Okay, so
yeah, I completely blocked on that, so I should have taken way less damage from all those hits. Shit.
Let me. The sneak attack still would have been fine, but for the 11 points of slashing, you would have taken 5.
Okay.
Okay, it is Sir Lucian's turn.
Right, longsword to what is it? Number 4. Okay.
Yep, you run down to number 4. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, number 4. That is a 10.
10. Did you add your modifiers? Did you add your +3? And your strength and your proficiencies?
So +8. So
yeah.
+8.
So 10 plus 8 would be 18, in which case you hit.
Yeah, remember you gotta add that.
Yep, so you're getting +8 to your attack rolls, and you're getting also...
Plus,
you're getting
+8 for the damage.
Yes.
Oh, shivers. I thought it was only +8 for just the damage, not for the...
Well, no, it's +8 for the... Yeah, it's +8 for that too, so...
Oh, wow.
Wait, actually, it's +10 for the attack, because your strength is +5, so it's +5, +3, plus... It's +11 to attack.
Holy shit, yeah. So whatever you roll,
Yeah.
So from now on, whatever you roll to attack,
you add 11 to it. Yeah, and then when you
That's
roll
+5
damage, you
from
add
Great
8.
Weathercaster, isn't it?
Yeah, so plus... Yeah, because, yeah, your strength is 20, so it's +11 to hit and +8 on the damage, so roll damage and add 8 to it.
Rolling for damage. That is 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage, nice. Would you like to go in for another?
Yes, please.
Alright, remember to add 11 to anything you roll.
Alright, that's 11 plus 8, that's 19 on the dice check.
19, yeah, that's a hit. Roll for damage, add 8 to it.
Oh, that's a banana one.
It's okay, 9 points of damage is enough. You lunge forward, and just like an Aussie farmer with his shovel, remove the UNT Allison's head.
Ah, nice.
It is now Bobbitt's turn.
So, just to confirm, Salida is currently restrained.
She is restrained by Zinhorn's webs,
and
yes.
I would get advantage on attacks
Yes,
against
you get
her,
advantage on attacks against her.
Well, I'm hoping we get a long rest after this, because Bobbit is looking very... There's just like, you know, Bobbit looks up under her mask, there's just this gleam in her eyes as she's just looking directly at Salida.
You could have a long rest at any time, you just have to find a safe place to rest in the city.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But no, Bobbit is going to cast one of her other spells she took in when she leveled up. This is a second level necromancy spell called Tormented Flurry.
Yep.
Since I figured martial spells are a good idea now that I have. Let's see. Each strike shall be more gruesome than the last. When you cast this spell, you move up to 30 feet, which I don't need to do. Make a melee weapon attack against the target within reach. If you hit, the target takes an additional 2d6 necrotic damage. On your subsequent turns, you can use your actions to continue your deadly assault. Each time you use this action, it has a different effect. I'll explain which ones happen as they go, and more importantly, if she can survive that long. So yeah, Bobbit is just going to take an absolute, just enraged, just swings straight at her with the Mist Stick, and that is an 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
Beautiful. So, damn it, I never got to add the fire thing to the stuff yet.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet. That's okay.
Can't do much on that one just yet.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, because it burned the webs off.
Oh, right. Actually, good call. Where is my damage thing for this? Because I've never really used the core stuff yet. And that is going to be... the first part is going to be 9 points of damage, but then I gotta roll the 2d6 for necrotic as well.
Yep.
So that is... Ooh, an extra 11 points of necrotic damage. That's a good start. And anything else for that one? Nope, just that for now.
Salida's eyes grow wide and she grits her teeth as she struggles through the pain, but she is still squirming underneath the web.
Just that Bobbit just looking at her, just going, "You've been a very bad friend."
It is Bulb's turn.
Bulb. Bulb has just got a second level Scorching Ray.
Yep.
Wait, no, wouldn't the fire destroy the webbing though?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe go for the UNT guy behind me, so that way it's just a straight one-on-one fight here, because I actually should have taken a potion at the end of my turn, never mind.
Yeah, okay,
Get the other two UNT to work with you.
Yeah, I'll second level Scorching Ray, UNT, 1.
Alright, go ahead.
But am I high enough to have advantage on the attack or no?
You are high enough, yes.
Cool. So the first one is a 27.
Yep, that's a hit.
The second one is another 27.
That's a hit.
And the third one is a 24.
That's a hit.
So that is 1, 2, 4, 66. Oh, that's a lot of ones. Fuck off.
Aw.
10 damage.
10 damage. Unfortunately, he is still up, and his scales are looking a little bit singed, and he just hisses at you in anger, readying his weapon. Zinhorn, it is your turn.
And then,
Oh, yep.
sorry,
like-
I will healing word Bobbit
Yep.
Yay! At second level.
Yep.
Alright, we like those. We take those.
Why do I already have that as... Yeah, whatever. So, healing word at second level, so that's 2d4 plus 5 now.
Feel free to roll that, that's gonna be fun.
That was 7 plus 5, so that's 12 HP back from Bobbit.
12
Thank
HP,
you.
lovely.
Thank you.
It is now
That's a big old
Zinhorn's
chunk.
turn.
So if I transform out of this shape, does the webbing stays, doesn't it?
It does stay, yes.
Cool. So I am going to come out of this form since I only have 2 health anyway.
Yep.
And so if I was to move away and get hit, that would stop my move by if I got below or got down to 0.
Yeah, but since you've transformed out of it, you can now.
Yeah, but if I didn't transform out of it, I was at 2 health. If I was to move away and got hit, does that just end my turn?
Yeah, it would have just ended your turn. You would have
Cool.
transformed.
That's what I
out.
thought. I just wanted to confirm before
Yep.
So I'm going to come out of Spider Queen form, and I'm just going to point blank Thunderwave at first level. This
Yep, Malice
number-
3.
Malison 3 behind.
God.
He's going to make a dex save, and that is a 3.
He does not make it. So
Yeah.
it is 2d8. And that is a 6 and an 8, so that is 14 points of damage.
A thunderclap rings throughout the open plaza, blasting him back 15 feet away from you.
Damn.
And then I'm going to head around over behind this way here
Yep, you run
And
into
use
the
my-
nearby ruins
and use Mask of the Wild
and just
Oh.
vanish into the foliage. Nice.
to complete this
Okay.
game.
It is the enemy's turn. Selida struggles, but she cannot break free of her webbing.
He
So
also
it's,
takes 1d4 of cold.
she
Oh,
does.
fun.
She's
Oh, good.
also
That
going
is
to
2 points of damage.
2 points of damage. She's going to attempt to hit Bobbit with her short sword, despite having disadvantage. That is a 10 on the first, and on the second, that is a 6.
I imagine Bobbit's just lazily just tilting her head as she tries to swing at her, just
She's
not
just
even needing the
struggling,
shield.
and she's going, "You never trusted me from the start."
Well, yeah, with good reason, it seems.
It is
You
Yuan.
should be nicer.
It is Yuan T. Malison 1's turn, and he is going to swing at Bobbit with his scimitar. That's a nat 20 on the first.
Oh, come on! How does this guy keep doing that?
You get
I mean, I do still have resistance on
You do,
his
so you
attack.
take 5 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
Then his second is a 24 non-nat. You
God
take
damn it.
3 points of slashing damage with your resistance.
Stop it.
He then goes in to bite you, and that is a
Please don't.
16. He is unable to pierce
Nope.
through your half plate.
Ow.
Yuan T. Malice 3 slithers up between Bulb and Sir Lucian, readies his scimitar, swinging it at Sir Lucian. That is an 8. It bounces off Sir Lucian's armor. It then reevaluates and makes its second swing at Bulb, and that is a 15. Bulb
That
I mean,
puts
this
his
is-
Bulb
as
puts
well.
his shield in front, and it hits the shield and clanks off. It is
Yeah, take an
now.
opportunity.
Um,
If he
No,
swings
it's
at
only
Bob.
if he tries
no,
to
no, no.
move
It's only if he
away.
tries to move away. But it is now your
Oh,
turn,
okay.
Sir Lucian. Would you like to finish him off?
please
Oh,
use it.
mate,
Someone-
beautiful.
Yeah. So please use it. Someone else can come and help me.
I have
with
to
this
ask
idea.
you a question.
You're using a sword, though.
Right. That is a 6.
6 plus 11, 17 to hit. Go ahead. Roll your damage and add plus 8 to
I
it.
tell you.
Alright, let's do this. That is a 4, so that's what, 12 points of damage?
12,
Yep.
not bad. Go in for your next hit.
Yeah.
Sorry, it appears you're not dead yet. That is a... Cocked dice. It was so close to a nat 20.
So
It's
19.
okay,
That is
19
a
plus...
nine.
That's still a 30. So
Yeah,
I think
still a
that's gonna
30. That's gonna hit. Roll your damage.
hit. Oh, gee whiz, does a 30 hit?
6, 8, 14 points.
14 points. How would you like to kill him?
Oh my god.
Oh, we decapitate?
Yep.
I would like to decaffeinate him.
So you just lunge forwards and you say...
It's so badass, it has its own
Yeah.
name.
You just...
Decaffeinate.
You step forward holding your shield in one hand, raising your sword in the other, and you say, I, Sir Lucian Scuttlebutt, condemn you to decaffeination! And you bring the sword down on his head, lopping it off with one quick blow.
He doesn't actually die. He just gets really. He doesn't actually die. He just gets really tired.
tired.
And goes, oh man, I'm
Yep.
not dealing with this anymore, and just passes out.
It is now
But,
Robin's turn.
Oh good. Alright, well we still have Salida. She's still restrained. I still have advantage. So let's go round 2 of Tormented Flurry while we're still here.
Yep.
That is 10 plus 7, so 17 still hits.
It still hits.
Oh wait, no, I never rolled a disadvantage. Yep. Oh, actually, I'm just. Nah, we're good. We're good. Alright, second use. You make a melee weapon attack against a creature within range. If you hit, the creature must make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they are frightened of you until the end of your next turn, taking extra d6 of necrotic damage. So I'll
Yep,
just
she's
roll-
gonna make... She got a 6 on her wisdom save.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's just some very evil intentions gleaming under Bobbitt's eyes as she's just wailing on her while she's hurt. So that's gonna be 3-7 on the first, and then an additional 4 points of necrotic on top of that.
Salida just looks at Bobbit, her eyes grow wide and her mouth falls open in a look of sheer terror as Bobbit steps in, and Salida's limp body, finally breaking through the webs, falls to the ground, and as she lies there on the weed-choked cobblestone, she looks up into the sky, and her bottom lip trembling, she just says, "Forgive me, Scimitar, Sally," and she dies.
I was gonna say as she passed that, Bubble goes, "Don't worry, Bubble will make sure what's left of you gets sent to her." I'm really annoyed because that next hit I would have had against her would have been absolutely friggin' amazing. Because the third strike is literally you make another attack against a creature within reach. If the creature is frightened, it deals an additional 1d6. If the attack is made with advantage, it deals an additional 1d6.
It is
Oh,
now...
wow.
But on the bright side, I still have what's-his-face sitting next to me as well.
Yes. So it is now Bulb's turn.
Bulb is going to just fly up to the auntie and is just going to whack him with a scimitar.
Yep, that's as good an idea as any. Rush right up to him. Go ahead, roll to hit him.
That is a unnatural 20.
That's a hit.
God, I gotta
Roll
get
your
used to
damage.
using melee weapons again. Jesus. What's the scimitar again? It's a D6?
Yep, d6 plus your dex.
Yeah, so... I haven't put the damage that the sword does.
Plus an additional 1d4 fire damage in your case.
Yeah. I was just checking, I haven't actually put the fucking damage in. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so... Oh, that is max damage for the fucking scimitar. That is 9 physical and 1 burning.
Ooh, 10 points of damage, not bad. It is Zinhorn's turn.
He's still up.
He's still up, just barely.
So I'm going to appear from around behind this wall there and just frostbite.
Yep. Go ahead.
That's a DC 16 con save.
He makes his con save and rolls 10.
Alright, that is now 2d6. That is 6 points of cold damage.
And this Yuan Ti withers in the cold air as he dies. Combat appears to be over.
He is lovely. I go to Selena's body and grab out the sending stone.
Yep. You take the sending stone from Selena, and as you hold it up, now that it's actually in your hands, you could feel a sort of malevolent, dark energy emanating from it.
Was this the same sending stone that we contacted Scimitar Sally with?
I'd like you to please make an Well, what's your passive investigation?
17.
As you hold the sending stone in front of you, you realise that this stone looks almost identical to the one that you had Selena hand over, except for the fact that on the underside a small triangle is carved into the rock. You pat down Selena's corpse, and sure enough find a second sending stone in her pocket, which is the same one that you used to contact Scimitar Sally.
Before I try to contact Scimitar Sally, I call Bobbit over. Bobbit, I need your help. This stone, and I hold up the marked one, is the one that she used now. Can you help me determine if there's any mind-altering magic associated with it?
You may make an Arcana check, please, Bobbit.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, yep, well, Bobbit...
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself.
that's
I was
okay.
going to say, do I get advantage since I'm technically helping Bulb look
Yes,
over this thing?
well, you get advantage because this is something that belongs to Rasmus C.
Well, that's a 24 either way.
You determine that there is some sort of magic effect placed on the stone. You can determine that it is not mind-altering, but are also unable to determine what it is without casting Detect Magic.
I'm going to expend a spell slot and cast Detect Magic immediately.
There is an aura of evocation magic emanating from the stone.
What's evocation magic again? Sorry, I'm not...
Damaging magic. Fireballs, thunderbolts.
Okay.
Damaging magic?
So, we would be best to get rid of this thing then?
Yes, it may be trapped if we try to use it.
Well, there is a lovely, lovely smoldering pit of lava and despair over to the east.
Well, after we're finished here, that might be where we need to go next to get rid of
I'm
it.
just going to confirm that Selena was definitely not mind-controlled in any way, correct?
It doesn't appear that she was.
Cool. Buck's going to
Oh.
keep hitting her with this stuff.
I activate Scimitar Sally's.
You hear Scimitar Sully's voice on the other end. Selena? Have you reached Omu yet?
The leader was a traitor, and then I hang up.
The sending stone falls silent, and as soon as you are done, Scimitar Sally triggers something on her end, and you feel the magic that's inside the sending stone leave, and it returns to just being an inert, ordinary pebble in your hand.
Oh, this gonna
Probably could have used information, but I feel good pissing her off doing that.
Quick question. I know she's technically a Yuan Ti, but does Selena count as a humanoid?
She's a humanoid, yes, but she's a Yuan Ti.
Good. Bobbit's just gonna look and go, Bobbit's not finished with you being a bad friend, and is immediately going to cast Animate Dead on her.
am then going to go to the Yanti Warlock, and is there anything at all that I can basically take as a trophy? Like, you know how I'm taking the
Otherwise,
masks and everything?
Start beating his freaking head.
Well, they have. You notice that not on the warlock's just wearing normal robes, but one of the Malisons is holding a longbow that has been painted and carved like a serpent with tiny amber gemstones for eyes.
Oh, that's pretty.
Okay, well,
Cool. It's just a normal.
Doesn't
I'm going to
appear to
check
be.
it, see if it's...
It doesn't appear to be magical. It's just
It just looks
been
pretty.
carefully customized.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a trophy.
Yep.
So customized, was it longbow?
Yep. It's a longbow. It's in the shape of it. It's been carved into the shape of a serpent with tiny amber gemstones for eyes.
Oh. Well,
Okay.
you got your trophy. Bobbit has hers, and Bobbit already knows exactly what she wants to do. with hers.
Selena's corpse crawls forwards and then slowly climbs to its feet, and it stares at Bobbit, its hands hanging limply along the sides, and it opens its mouth and says,
Bobbit just looks and goes, isn't that much better? Well, let's
Zinhorn-
get rid of the sending stone she had.
Selena is now a husk zombie.
Actually, yeah. Also stares over at Zinhorn going, Bobbit hopes that you don't feel bad about this one.
Zinhorn just looks at him, looks at his hand, looks at Selena. Say something, or is she going down again?
Selena.
Wait.
Selena
you
looks
said it
at
to me or
Zin.
to her?
I'm saying to Bobbit, basically stop me from taking her out again.
Yeah. Bobbit just smiles, and then Bobbit just under a mask just smiles and goes, No, don't worry. She's not being back for long.
Selena just tilts her head, looks at Zinhorn, and says, "Ooh."
Don't look at me that way.
Bobbit just goes, Bobbit actually holds her hand out to Bob and goes, Can Bobbit have the other sending stone, the bad one?
Bob hands it over. He doesn't exactly want to be carrying it.
Wonderful. Come, Selena. Bobbit knows just what to do with both of these. And just starts walking off in the direction of the lava area to dispose of the sending stone.
Would you like... Yep.
Before we go, I would just like to try and collect any arrows that these Yanti had.
Yep. You look around and you pick up all their arrows, and there is, amongst them, 4d8 arrows.
4d8, okay. And does that take a... Well, I don't technically, but now I've got a bow, and just in case I want to use the bow, I want to have some arrows.
All those arrows take one slot.
One slot? Okay, cool.
Zinhorn just follows Bobbit
Yep.
and says, "Can I do it?"
No. Bobbit just looks and goes, Trust me, you'll like what Bobbit has in store.
Yeah, Zinhorn wants to do. If you're doing what I think you're doing, Zinhorn wants in.
It takes a walk of about half an hour to make it from the plaza towards the great rift in the city. And as you approach it, the air starts to grow hotter and hotter as convection from the lava below ekes up out of the crater towards you. I'm just gonna...
While we're doing that walk, Bob comes up with an idea. Oh no, don't worry, that sending stone probably only went to those bloody Yanti that ambushed us.
Yes.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, don't worry then.
Either way, it's not nice and we need to get rid of it, and Bob knows just what to do.
Bob
down...
was going to try and track where it went to, but that's okay.
Tumble down ruins cling to the lip of a vast rift overlooking a lake of bubbling lava, and Zinhorn and Bulb, as you stare over this bubbling abyss, you see that in the middle of the lava is a sole pinnacle of rock, and on top of that rock is some sort of temple or shrine.
Oh. Okay. That's small. I mean, obviously I don't know that in person, but obviously that'll be one we have to go and visit to find out the rest of that graffiti thing.
As you look at it, you notice that someone has actually carved great tabaxi letters into the sides of the cliff, which Bobbit is easily able to translate to Shrine of Moa.
Oh, hey, Bobbit fan Moa. Look, it's Moa, everybody. Hi, Moa.
Okay, but there's nothing else
Yep,
here.
nothing else
nothing
here,
dangerous,
no.
Nothing wonderful. We're gonna stroll out to that nice little bit that's over that bridge.
Crossing a
Just
crumbling stone bridge onto a tiny rock island in the midst of a sea of bubbling red magma.
Mm-hmm.
And as the heat
Especially there.
compresses down upon you, what do you do?
Just making sure.
So is this
Good.
is this where it is going down, or she is
Bobbit
going
just looks
down?
at it. Bobbit just looks at the sending stone, goes over the Salida, puts it in her hand, and then just goes.
Oh, please
Yeah.
let me.
Bobbit just points off the cliff and goes, no, Bobbit wants. I mean, you're more than welcome to watch, but Bobbit wants this more than you can possibly imagine.
So I go next to Bobbit whilst he's doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and you say jump. You do.
No, well, either that or Bobbit just goes, just looks and turns to him and says, yeah, do not resist. And then just turns to Zinhorn and goes, if we do this, does that mean we can be friends now?
Yes.
Push away.
So Zinhorn just focuses his energy and just gives, this is for all that doubt, all of that fooling, all that trickery, and just a big explosion with the staff, his staff going down to the ground, and cast Thunder Wave.
Jeez, I just meant like push her in the back. Jesus Christ.
A thunderclap rings throughout this lava-filled chasm as sound energy pushes Zombie Salida off the edge, and you hear her groaning as you watch her fall down, and she splashes into the lava and sinks like a pebble and is gone beneath the surface within a second.
What happens when the sending stone hits the lava?
As the sending stone hits the lava, you feel the ground beneath you shake, and then a wave of dark necrotic energy explodes out from the chasm just far enough away that its inky black tendrils cannot reach you. They linger in the air. They linger in the air for a few seconds and then slowly sink down into the lava, leaving a black inky splotch where they once were.
Zinhorn just turns to Bob and goes, oh, that felt good.
See, as we've all learned a valuable lesson today, nothing brings people closer together than mutual hatred of a third party. I'll just listen, goes, bye, Salida, you're a rotten friend, and just starts walking back to where we were before. Can we have a nap now?
So, would you like to... You can take a short rest or a long rest, or you can continue exploring the city.
What time of day is it?
It is just before lunchtime.
I'd just like to point out that Bobbit has burnt all of her warlock spells plus her use of the raise the dead for the day. But if we take a short rest, I get two
Your
of them.
spell
I get the
slots
warlock
back,
spell
yep.
slots back. So, sorry, I forgot. We're not in the hex crawl anymore. I
Yeah.
can just take a quick nap and get my shit back. Yay!
Yes.
I take a nap.
You are
I take
now
a nap
in...
Right here.
You are not in a hex crawl, you're now in a dungeon crawl.
Yeah,
The
close
city...
enough. Just-
The city being the dungeon.
That's fine. The fact that I could take a short rest and just get stuff back instead of...
Yeah, I get my my beast shape back as well.
Yep, so you guys would
So
like to take a short
Yes.
rest and
Oh yeah, I'll
recover?
take a short rest and get some health back. I've still got a few spells left.
I take a nap.
That being said, okay, hit dice. Good thing I had D8s out already.
Yep, to go ahead, I think Sir Lucian took 18 damage. So Sir Lucian, would you like to use your second wind to get a free hit dice? And then you may only have to spend one.
Sounds perfect.
So go ahead and roll.
Down to like 20 points of HP.
Yeah,
I
so
had to
roll
use-
2d10s, Sir Lucian.
Alrighty. Rolling away. 2d10.
half of my hit
That
dice
is,
just get back to full, because I took an
10.
absolute whipping in that
10.
battle.
Okay, would you like to spend another hit dice then, since you only recovered 10?
Yeah, I've got a whole heap of health potions too.
You do, so you can drink those if you want. Those are 2d4 plus 2 each.
That
Rolls.
reminds me,
That's
I've got
5
to
plus your con.
I did delete them.
Oh yeah, and your con to the hit dice. So in this case you got 14 health from that hit dice and your second wind.
Oh, beautiful. Dang. Oh, look, that should be fine.
It should be fine, alright. Everyone else has recovered. As you
I
sit-
recovered all my hit points using half my dice.
Yep. So you sit around in a
Just sit there after a
circle
quick
as the
nap.
lava
Yay.
bubbles below you, and you just rest for an hour in the heat, enjoying a brief meal and recovering from Solida's betrayal. And then, having caught your breath, you stand up and survey the city sprawling before you. Where would you like to go?
Well, let's have a look at this little building right here.
Moa's Shrine.
No, sorry. This one here that we can get to.
Alright. You cross the bridge and see what appears to be the remnants of some old house. And so you're going to decide to check inside it?
Bulb is going to sneak in an opening.
Yep. Bulb, please make a stealth check.
That is a 21.
Okay, so this, as a building that's not marked on the back, is a randomly generated building, so I would like you to please roll a D100.
D100, okay. There's my D100. That is a 17.
A 17. You creep into the house, pushing open what's left of the front door, and inside find that the interior is completely empty. All of the furniture has been removed, and the floor has nothing upon it other than a thick layer of dust and dirt.
That's fine, well, at least now we know what's in here.
Question.
Yep.
When back at the other shrines that we had in the previous episode, when I used Detect Magic, was there anything that came off Mr. Stick?
There was actually magic that came from Mr. Stick, but you weren't paying attention to it at the time and weren't able to tell what kind of magic it was. It just is.
But
in
there was
your
a magical
mind-
presence.
Yeah, that there was a magical presence.
Okay.
So
That
yes, if
information
you-
could be helpful.
So if you decide to search any buildings that aren't map markers, there is randomly generated encounters inside them. So
Oh, fun.
where would you like to go, having searched this house and found nothing?
We never did search these houses, but we need to go up this way, so
You can go.
I
up
guess Bulb puts forward the suggestion maybe we just start making our way up the street towards the ruined campsite, just checking the houses on either
Yep.
side.
I'm pretty sure
Yes,
you
we
could
can.
easily fly over to Moa's Shrine too if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, the
Because Sir
so
Lucian
Lucian
has
could
the
use
flying
his
carpet.
flying carpet.
If you do want to go over there, or if you do want to make your way towards the ruined campsite.
I'm gonna say the magic
Really?
words.
feel like the campsite to start off with.
That's a good
Well,
idea.
maybe. Yeah, campsite first.
You begin to make your way down a wide, crumbling cobblestone street through
as
buildings.
we-
Yep, I know you want to search the buildings.
Yeah.
Too. The cobblestones are drowning under rampant overgrowth of creepers and other jungle plants, and the buildings on either side of you are choked with the same. As you walk towards the campsite, you decide to search the buildings that you pass by. Please roll a D100.
A 90.
A 90. The first building you search ends up being a fortunate discovery, as in amongst dust and dirt-choked carpets, collapsed bedding, couches, and upholstery, you find a small wooden box, and you flip the box open and find a treasure inside. Please roll 2d20s and add them together.
Okay, that is a 21, because that was a nat 20 and a natural 1.
Okay, so
Pretty
21.
hell.
Let me check what that is.
Wow, way to flip both sides of the coin there, Chief.
Well, one of you will like this, because inside the small wooden box is a leather pouch, and you open it up, and inside is 2d6 plus 1 ammunition.
Oh, 2d6 plus 1 ammunition. Okay.
Not
Is it just regular ammunition, or where are we working with this?
Plus
It's
1 ammunition
8.
for a gun or a sling.
It's 8 LR.
Yep, so 8 plus 1 bullets are inside the
Oh,
pouch.
sorry, that was 7 plus 1, so 8.
Yeah.
That would be great if Bobbit hadn't given us all...
So that wasn't
Reloading.
2d6 plus 1. That was 2d6, and they are plus 1 bullets.
Oh!
Plus 1?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay, so
I mean,
that's
you're
7
probably
plus
gonna
1
use the
bullets.
gun more than you're probably going to use the gun more than I do, because I don't really do more with Eldritch Blast. So I will happily let you take those. Okay,
Yes,
that makes
so-
far more sense.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
far more
Yeah.
sense.
Damn.
now.
Yeah,
So
I can
7
see why that would be valuable.
Yeah.
Now.
So you want 7 plus. So you want 7 plus 1 bullets.
Yes, I will take them, because why not?
Yeah.
leave-
Awesome.
yep.
Also, the houses that we search, I'm just going to put a token on just to say that
Yep.
we searched them.
Yep. And so you exit back out into the crumbling street and decide to search the house directly opposite it. Please roll another D100.
Someone else roll it this time.
Yeah. 14.
There you go.
14. The interior of this building is almost completely empty. The only things left behind are broken pieces of furniture and upholstery that are choked with weeds and dirt. Disappointed, make your way further up the street and search the next building. Please roll a D100.
Michael.
What's it?
I was gonna say this one.
Go ahead.
It's a 44.
A what? A 4?
I rolled the thing. 44.
44. Okay. As you explore the building, the wooden floor beneath your feet begins to groan and then suddenly crash! It collapses under your weight. I need all of you to make dex saves, please.
Why does everything I touch fall apart?
Because this is falling, does that just revert to a 10 for me to pass
Yes,
start hovering?
it does, yes.
Okay.
Dex save is 18.
Bobbit, with almost cat-like reflexes, rolls an 18.
I roll
Okay,
21.
21. Okay, did anyone roll below 12? I believe Sir Lucian did, sadly. Okay, so you all
Sorry, Lulu.
catch various pieces of debris and grab onto them to stop falling, but Sir Lucian screams as he plummets 20 feet down into the basement and takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, is my audio is working. Okay.
Yeah.
While you're down there, Sir Lucian, roll a D100, please.
Sorry.
While you're down there, roll a D100, Sir Lucian.
Oh, you still found a thing.
Sorry.
I'm not dead.
No, I was gonna say, you know, like the Homer going through like 5 different floors and going, I think I have to go again. The blindfold came off.
86 though.
This
Yep,
was a
yep.
19.
And unfortunately, even though you've fallen down into the remnants of some old cellar, it appears to be completely empty, save for a large wooden wine cask that has nearly collapsed with age, and you could just make out the lettering on the side that reads Cooper.
How did the bitch got everywhere?
No, time to have a smell of
What?
it.
How? He was dead. How far did he reach before he died? He only had that wine crap for like less than a year.
And so I will just let you know that what happens is if you roll the collapsing floor, the floor collapses, and then you roll again, and it's entirely possible to get collapsing floor again and again and again.
Oh god, he could have just kept going.
Yep.
The guy that falls down,
God.
he just jump hits the iron pole and he hits the
It's
next
just
one.
somehow there's like a 15-level basement between this friggin' floor. You just hear, oh, thud,
Ah!
thud, and just keeps freaking going.
Finally,
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Finally, somewhat satisfied with your searches of the building so far, you reach your destination. Smoke drifts lazily from a walled compound. The gate lies in splinters, and scorch marks inside the compound deface the buildings. Near the center of the compound is a plaza littered with charred human corpses. One of the corpses is being torn apart by a pack of wild dogs, and as soon as they see you, they look in your direction, raise their tails in the air, and scatter into the surrounding ruins.
So, you can see like a cat-like growl come out from Bobbit while looking at these dogs. Just. Okay, cool. Just charred corpses. Can we find anything on said corpses?
You may make investigate checks.
I can do that.
Can I do anything with a passive of 17?
Yes, you can, but
I got a.
Yeah, that-
still
yeah,
would
I
ask
20.
still would ask someone for an investigate check.
I got non-nat 20.
Okay, so Bulb, as Bobbit and the others begin to search the compound, you take in the charred corpses in front of you and count that there are at least 30 of them.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Bobbit, you
Oh.
and the others investigate each of these corpses in turn and discover that 20 of them wear the armor and gear of mercenaries. They all appear to be human of both genders. Their armor is quite ill-maintained, covered in rust, and some of it broken, spattered with mud and blood. 7 of the corpses appear to be those of guides, wearing the garb of the guide guild in Port Nyanzaru.
Aww.
Emblems emblazoned into their robes, similar to the ones that Majarib and Salida showed you back when you hired them. 3 of the corpses appear to be more notable than the others, as all 3 of these corpses wear bright red robes, and their heads are bald, all their hair shaved off, and instead tattooed with purple-coloured rings and insignias across their scalps.
Oh.
Okay.
Can I do an intelligence check?
You may do
See.
an Arcana check, roll.
Arcana?
You want me to help with that?
Ah, yes, please. That was an 8.
Okay. Beloved house. Oh, do you want me to actually just roll myself?
Do your own roll.
Yep.
Probably for the best. 23.
Based on their garb, their shaved heads, and the tattoos, you quickly identify them as Red Wizards of Thay.
Yep. Thought so.
Oh,
The Red
yeah.
Wizards of Thay having a rather nasty reputation amongst those who study the arcane, being bloodthirsty, power-hungry arcane practitioners from the magocracy of Thay, a nation ruled by liches.
And Bo just there says all that back to the rest of the group, or reminds anyone who hasn't heard of them. And then
You
just
don't
goes,
know what they're doing here in Omu, but the fact that they are here in close proximity to the Soulmonger can only mean bad things.
Yeah, Bo just sort of goes, yep, power-hungry, half-lich characters that just want to try and destroy things, and just stares at Mr. Stick and goes, "Why does this sound so familiar?"
Zenhorn just cringes and just braces for what's gonna come.
Yeah.
You could attempt a medicine check on the corpses to see how they died, if you like.
Oh, I can do that.
I was gonna say that's probably good.
I'll try that as
Yeah.
well.
Beloved doesn't know.
That
No,
is a 17 for medicine.
17. You
I
notice,
got an 8.
Yep.
Because I got a nat 1.
you notice that most of the corpses are covered in what appear to be bite marks, portions of their skin torn away, revealing the flesh and bones underneath. And this, combined with the lines of tracks leading in and out of the walled compound, suggests that they were attacked by the undead.
Oh. Yeah.
Lovely. That's
Alright.
just glad.
Zenhorn just looks over to Bobbert.
Why?
Do you know anything about does Mr. Stick know of many other necromancers that would be in the area we need to deal with? Or is it just bonus Mr. Stick?
And Bowl just looked at Mr. Stick going, are these yours or are these people followers of yours?
Mr. Stick says, not mine per se, but perhaps mine, if you know what I mean.
Just another sigh, just going, they probably worship the other rats in the sea.
There is one last thing of note in the compound. A glaive has been thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre. Charred snake skulls and blackened inhuman vertebrae are lashed to the spear. On a wall nearby, a symbol has been daubed in ash, a snake curled in a spiral, gripping a circle in its jaws. Bobbert, please make a religion check as you see this.
Ooh, that's about as close to a nat 20 as I can get. That's a 26.
So you and Ava both immediately recognize this as the sigil of Dendar the Night Serpent devouring the world, the god worshipped by Yuan Ti.
Yay! God. Wait, serpent that wants to eat the world. Are you sure we're not dealing with Norse mythology instead?
Yeah, I know what you're referring to, but no, this one is not doesn't eat the world in a good way.
Yeah, this thing's probably just evil as all shit.
Dendar the Night Serpent, you know him to be an evil god worshipped by Yuan Ti, and essentially all their religious practice serves to eventually summon Dendar the Night Serpent into the material plane so that he can devour the whole world, which in some odd way is said to bring glory to the Yuan Ti.
So odd people. Very odd people.
I'd like everyone to make perception checks, and Bobbert, you may make it with advantage because this is a listening check.
Oh, good.
That's
That's
23.
16, but
Why is it I have advantage and I can't roll higher than a 10? That's a 7. Bobbitt's kind of just lost it. Clearly just lost with her own thoughts at this point.
Hey, that's me with charisma.
That's
Yeah.
okay, the group check got passed thanks to
Oh, thank God.
Zinhorn and Bulb. And as you study this, the aftermath of what has clearly been some sort of battle, you hear a voice. Is anyone out there? Help! Help! A muffled voice emanating from under a fallen section of wall to your right on the very edge of the compound.
Should we go and check?
Sure.
Not a ton of trust, but Bubba wants to help.
As you approach the falling wall, the voice grows louder. Please! I can hear you talking out there. Help me! I've been trapped under here for days!
Who are you and how did you get here?
My name is Orvex Okramas. I am a scribe for the wizards. Please, I ran here to hide during the battle, but the wall collapsed. I've been trapped.
Uh,
I want to help, but I don't know. I've been fooled a lot at the moment.
I would like to go and help, but I can't.
The
do anything
close
for
a look before we go
The
any
collapsed
further in.
section of wall is rather large. It appears to have fallen over and covered a series of latrines that have been dug into the dirt. There are scorch marks around the edges of the section of wall, and looking up you could see the remnants of the building that it was broken off, also covered in scorch marks. If you had to hazard a guess, a misplaced fireball or something of the like broke this section of wall away and caused it to tumble down into the compound below.
I guess we want to get a closer look at this guy who's currently underneath.
You can't see him. You can't see him.
Can I place seeds strategic, like every 1.5 feet around the outside of this slab?
Yep.
Cast Druidcraft to make them sprout, and then cast Plant Growth on specifically them to lift the stone slab.
The seeds burst and tiny trees begin to shoot out of them, lifting up the wall. The wall begins to bend and strain after their weight until, with an ear-splitting crash, a crack starts at the bottom and quickly makes its way through the middle of the wall, tearing it asunder into 2 pieces. And underneath, you see a very small framed man wearing a brown tunic, towering in what appears to be a dugout latrine. He notices that the wall is broken and feebly crawls out from under the wall.
Okay, so does this guy have the marking on his head like the other?
He looks up at you, and you see a balding human in his early 40s. His hair is not being shaved off. Instead, his scalp is pockmarked with patches of white hair. All he has left. He sports a magnificent white beard, and his bottom lip trembles as he looks up at you, waiting to see what you'll do to him.
But does he have the mark on his forehead like the others?
No, he doesn't.
Bobbit still looks and goes, "You don't have the mark on your head like those Thay wizards."
He says, "I'm not a red wizard. I merely serve as their scribe. They've been paying me well. I've been translating writings they find from Tabaxi to Common."
Oh, you speak Tabaxi. That's fun. So does Bobbit.
He looks up at you. He says, Do you mean me any harm?"
Not if you don't mean us harm.
Bobbit has been dealing with a lot of betrayal lately. As long as you play nice, so will Bobbit.
He climbs to his feet, brushes some dirt off the front of his tunic, and then holds up both of his hands to reveal he's holding nothing. And then he narrows his eyes. He says, "You're not in league with the snakes?"
No, most definitely not.
We just had a very unfortunate run-in for them.
He breathes a huge sigh of relief and then shuffles his way over to what seems to be the remnants of a campfire a few meters ahead of you, plonks himself down on the floor in front of it, and starts smashing 2 rocks together to get a fire started. He looks over at you. He says, "I'm exhausted and starving. You wouldn't happen to have any food on you?"
Zinhorn just goes over and just Druidcrafts a fire, lights it.
He smiles. He says, "Thank you, friends. Now, I could really go for something to eat. I've been trapped under there for several days now."
I could go get you some snake. We got lots of that.
I don't have good berries, so I can't cast any.
I
Give
do
him-
have good berry. Yeah, we've got.
I mean, theoretically, if you cast it, then we don't need to eat today anyway,
Yeah.
because we'd eat that as well.
Yeah, you
but
give him one good
it
berry.
it is a first level spell that you would be using.
Yes. I've got. If I do it, I'll have one first level spot left.
You could
Oh, God.
give him a. You could also give him a ration if you want.
Well, now that we have less people taking the rations, so of one less person.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, give him a ration, I guess.
Oh look, the guy's starving. I'm sure he'll take.
You
anything
hold
as a-
out. You hold out a packed ration, and he looks up at you with gleaming eyes and snatches it out of your hand. Begins to bite the wrapping open desperately, and then shovels some of the bread into his mouth without even putting anything on it. Takes the dried out biscuits and meat, gobbles some of them down raw, and then places the rest in the fire. Ah, thank you, he says as he wolfs down the food. Ah, I already could feel the life coming back into my tired bones.
So, what were you doing with the Fey Wizards if you're not a member of them?
He says the wizards of Thay have come here, searching for a place they call the Tomb of the Nine Gods.
And for what reason?
He says, well, they haven't been entirely upfront with me, but I've overheard some conversations. They believe the source of the death plague to be here, and for whatever reason wish to acquire it. When I pushed further, I was told that it was for the good of humanity, and that I should not worry myself about it any further. But they did require my services to translate Tabaxi. You see, the entrance to the tomb is locked and requires 9 puzzle cubes to open. Each of these puzzle cubes can be acquired from a shrine in the city devoted to one of the Omuan gods.
The
There is
puzzle
some-
cubes are the key.
He nods and he says, the wizards of Thay who survived the battle are, as we speak, searching the city to try and claim the puzzle cubes from the shrines. As I understand it, each shrine has its own puzzle or test that must be overcome before a puzzle cube can be claimed.
How many?
Says there's 9, 1 for each Omuan god. However,
No. How many do you have with you?
he says, well, the wizards of Thay arrived only a few nights ago, and our first night that we camped here, we were attacked by Yuan Ti and hordes of undead with strange red triangles carved into their heads. As such, the wizards of Thay have only had about a day's head start. There's no way for me to tell how many puzzle cubes they would have located in that time, but they could have anywhere between none and all of them.
Would you happen to know an Eric?
Eric, he says. Indeed, yes, I do believe one of them did have that name.
And then I'm assuming another one has an initial starting with V.
He says, yes, that is correct. That would be Victoria. She seems to be the leader of the group, or at least when they confer, they ask for her ideas before deciding how to proceed, and her word carries a lot of weight. I believe they decided they were going to split up to search the city separately, each of them taking guards with them. He looks around, surveying the corpses. He says, I dare say none of our living mercenaries made it, but these red wizards have guards of their own. Flesh
Nice.
golems, other constructs, and things of that
What?
nature.
Flesh golems?
So, were you with the group when they made those messages at the gatehouse?
He says, yes, we did pass through the gatehouse and there were messages there, but none of the wizards left any messages. They must have returned that way at some point after the battle. He says, I'm not sure what for, as I studied the city extensively before we arrived and was able to mark down the locations of most of the shrines.
Bullet's gonna hold out a map and go, can you point them out? Can you point out where they are on this map?
He takes your map, and as he looks at it, he says, did you draw this yourself?
Bullet found out she has a knack for it.
He smiles and he says, it is remarkably detailed for a child's work. Consider me impressed. And then he marks some locations on the map. To the east of here, Shagambi's shrine. To the west, Kubazan's shrine. To the north, Aijin's shrine. To the northeast, Unk's shrine. To the east further from that, Oberlucker's shrine. Finally, the eighth shrine, in the flooded portion of the city, Papazottl's shrine. The eighth shrine appeared to be the last when we searched for the ninth. And of course, in the southern portion of the flooded part of the city, Nang Nang's shrine.
Nang Nang.
The ninth shrine, when we searched for it, appeared to have been destroyed and the puzzle cube taken. A tablet in Old Tabaxi simply said that the tablet had been given as an offering to the King of Feathers in his nest in the amphitheater.
Well, the good news is we're gonna have a chance to get a lot of rations.
Yes.
Hooray! Robert likes rations, don't me.
He then
Bad
says,
news, giant Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He then says, it means nothing to me who gets the puzzle cubes first, so I assume you will be heading out immediately and racing the red wizards to these shrines. He says, but before you go, I must ask, do you know the legend of Omu and its gods?
Actually, that's a good question. Would I?
He says, you, Bobbert, actually would not know, because Omu was called the Forbidden City during the height of the Cholton Empire, and as an enemy of Mesro, as an enemy of Mesro, it was forbidden to speak of it, as Ubtao had turned his back on this city and its degenerate populace.
No, Bob doesn't know. Tell.
Orvex sighs, and he fumbles around the campsite next to him, retrieving from under a pile of rubble a small leather backpack. He opens it and pulls out several broken stone tablets, covered in what you could tell is tabaxi. He runs his finger over them for a moment and says, we found these as we entered the city in the remnants of some sort of temple. I spent the majority of our first day here translating them. If you please, he clears his throat, and begins to read from his translated notes. Stories of Omu's 9 trickster gods died with the Omuans who worshipped them. However, in their time, they wrote a lot about their gods, including the story of how they came to be. Long ago, the god Ubtao hardened his heart and vowed to weep for the people of Omu no longer. The rain stopped, the jungle withered and died, and death swept through Omu. One morning, a wise Zorbo emerged from her hollow tree and spoke to the dying Omuans. to convince Ubtao of their worth, she decided to cook him a stew made from all their good qualities. Catching such virtues wouldn't be easy, so she asked a wily Almirage to help her. The Almirage snuck recklessness in the pot, which she saw as a virtue, and so Ubtao spat out the stew when he tasted it. From that day on, Oberlaka the Zorbo and Aijin the Almirage became terrible enemies. So Oberlaka is a Zorbo, and Aijin is an Almirage. At noon, a brave Kamadan hopped down from her rock. She saw the evil in the Omuan's hearts and decided to lance it like a troublesome boil. The Kamadan fashioned a holy spear, but she left it by the riverbank, and then a crafty grung stole it. In her rage, Shagambi the Kamadan forgot all about the Omuans and chased Nang Nang the grung forever across the sky. When evening came, a wily Iblis stepped from his reed hut. He didn't like the Omuans, but without them, he'd have no one to play his tricks on. The Iblis sent a marsh frog to reason with Ubtao, but the frog was angry and decided to wrestle the god instead. This amused Ubtao, so he gave the frog tentacles to make it stronger. When Kabuzan, the frog hemoth, returned to Papazotl the Iblis, he chased Papazotl into the swamp with his new tentacles. That night, a Sioux monster broke into Ubtao's palace and stole a pail of water for the Omuans. When the god came running to find it, the Sioux monster hid a pail in a Jakuli's burrow. Ubtao asked the jungle animals where his water was hidden, and Moa the Jakuli was too honest to lie. When Wongo the Sioux monster found out how Moa had betrayed him, he vowed to catch the Jakuli and eat him up. All the while, Unk the flail snail lived deep beneath the earth. The noise of the other animals fighting made her slither up to the surface, and when day dawned over her shell, the light blinded Ubtao, made his eyes water. Life returned to Omu, and the people built shrines to honor the 9 animals who had saved them. Would you like me to put that in the Discord for you?
Please, for the
Yeah,
love of God.
please.
I would never been able to keep up with that, even if I wanted to.
I was trying, that's my...
So you can add it to your notes. And so it seems to identify the names and species of all 9 of the minor gods. Just putting it up in Discord now. Those gods, from what you could tell, being...
Oh god.
being Oberlaka the Zorbo, Aijin the Almirage, Shagambi the Kamadan, Nang Nang the Grung, Kabuzan the Froghemoth, Papazotl the Iblis, Wongo the Sioux monster, Moa the Jakuli, and Unk the flail snail.
I'm sorry, that flail snail one just gets me.
Oh, so Moa is honesty.
Oh.
Orvex finishes reading, and then he brushes his hand through the air and he says, "Of course, it's up to you how much of this you want to take with a grain of salt. In fact, many scholars would argue that the 9 so-called gods of Omu were not gods at all, just particularly powerful jungle spirits that moved in and captured the minds of the degenerate populace after Ubtao turned his back on them and their clerics no longer were granted spells."
I mean, we've witnessed stuff from like Nang Nang and whatnot, so...
And so for each shrine you go to, I'll let you do a check to see if you recognize what species of animal it is and tell you all about it. Or you could just ask me at any time what species was blah blah blah, and I'll give you a check.
Or
What the hell is a Zorbo?
What the hell is a Zorbo? Very well.
Yeah.
Make a nature check,
I
please.
was gonna say it's a really fun dance.
Nature is a +5, so 15.
Zorbos were small carnivorous creatures native to Cholt. They are typically around 3 feet tall and covered in grey fur. They have sharp teeth as well as sharp claws on both hands and feet. They best resemble tiny bears that live in trees and drop down onto unsuspecting prey to tear their flesh off their bones.
Oh my god, there are literally drop bears!
I'm glad I asked about that one.
I'm glad you asked about that one.
In the distant land of Shao Lung, you've even heard that there is a variety of Zorbo that resemble panda bears.
Oh, it's so cute!
They're not dangerous at all because they do nothing all day and eat.
They're clumsy.
Yeah.
Clumsy
Oh, the
bastards.
Australiana going on.
I'll leave you to it, says Orvex, as he hands you the backpack containing the tablets and his translations. He
Hey,
says,
before you
I'm...
go,
Yep,
Bobbit is curious about something.
go ahead, he says.
Just in an odd voice goes, what's a flesh golem?
He says, well, it's a construct that the wizards make, where they essentially attach a series of body parts together and give it life. A ghastly thing to look at, but as long as it serves as their guard, docile enough. He shudders, and he says, I'm going to eat the rest of this food, and then I'm going to find Victoria's sleeping bag and catch a nice nap. You have fun discussing those tablets and racing the wizards for their cubes. As soon as I get up, I'm hot-footing it out of this city and getting back to civilization.
Not much fun for civilization myself, but I do not blame you.
He brushes his hand in the air and he just says, to each his own, and then shuffles away to a portion of the campsite. The portion of the campsite where you can see tents and sleeping bags just scattered around, half covered in dirt and mud and blood. And he extricates a bright red sleeping bag from under a pile of rubble and departs with it into one of the tents, pushing the tattered flap closed behind him. And within seconds you can hear coming from inside the tent.
Well, that was a fun info dump.
That was.
Is there anything else you would like to know and roll?
Not really. I'll do it as we need to do it,
Yep,
I guess.
and so your map has been marked with the locations of the shrines. 9 puzzle cubes await out there, 1 for each god, and the red wizards already have a day's head start. There's no way to know which shrines they've been to until you get there, so you'll have to just pick and choose and hope you get lucky. But with that, as I leave you all to reflect on that info dump, we will conclude this week's session.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of dungeon crawling for next week, so I'm much excited for that.
Yes. And you can bet Bob is going to be walking into every single fucking house.
Along the way. Of course, of course. Okay,
Get those dice ready.
yes. So I have prepared all of these shrines. They are all prepared. So next week you could just pick whatever order you want to do them in,
Yeah.
and hope you can get those. Puzzle cubes. It is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so you will not be able to have a long rest to end this session unless you want to sleep the day away and travel in the night. But
Not particularly.
this ruined campsite appears to be relatively safe, at least for now, so it might serve as something of a base camp that you may return to in between shrines if you need to catch your breath or rest.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's it for this week's session. You made it into Omu, had Salida's ultimate betrayal, and discovered the task that lays ahead. At least, what you have to do, as you have no way of knowing how many of the cubes have already been acquired, if any, and what awaits for you in each of the shrines, save for the amphitheater, where you know the King of Feathers awaits all challengers.
Yeah.
So with that, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us, especially thanks to Crodex13 for the follow, and a Cloaked Gamer for the raiding party of 3,
Hey, thank you.
Ooh, nice.
and for the members of the party who followed. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and we'll be back next week for more exploring in the Forbidden City of Omu, and we'll be back tomorrow for the start of our new Call of Cthulhu campaign, Terror of Sithogua.
Surprise.
Thanks again for joining us, and until next time, don't trust the snake people.
Grr.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Be caffeinated. Bye.